Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey.
Hey.
Left past 10. Episode what? Like 9?
I think it's
9?
Is this
9.
episode 9?
Yep.
Wow.
9
And now
already.
we have an awesome guest with us, Dan from the internet. Dan, welcome to the
Right.
show.
Good to
Cheers,
be here.
Dan.
I love that I made it on the, you know, when you're on the first 10 of a podcast or a show or any sort of venture, that's always a special feeling. So I really feel
Vintage.
honored that you're all having me here. Yeah.
Aw.
I'm a deep cut
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah, exactly. We've had one other guest twice, right? So we
It's your first
used
regular.
Antonio as like a
Mhm.
test.
Yeah. Don't tell him he was the test.
Yeah, come on.
He was great. I mean, that
Oh.
was amazing content. We love that guy.
Can I
But
point
was
out
really
that, like,
content.
there's a comparison on, like, when we have 4 people, like, StreamYard knows what to do, but with 5 people, like, what the hell? Like, there's
Oh,
all this
yeah. I
extra
wonder-
space, you
I
know?
wonder
You
if
can
that's
definitely,
Andrea,
like
you're on the top row, so be quiet.
Oh, no.
not that.
Oh,
Hold
we
on.
can have a
That's
big
bad. That's bad. That's
There is a
bad one.
version where you can, like, fill space or, like, fill the
Yeah.
screen maximally with screens. I may have had to set it up myself, though, but I use it for Power Report. Welcome to the Inside Baseball Hour. This is how technical directing works for live.
I would love
I
it
think
if we
it's-
just
I think it's custom.
shamelessly, if we like shamelessly repped Dan from the internet. Clearly our most popular guest so far. If we just like filled up the screen with him the entire time, would make it a terrible experience for you. You'd feel under the spotlight. But we'd be soullessly sucking the what do you call it? Fame hooring.
Oh, every little bit of my fame squeezing out.
Oh yeah.
Gonna want to juice that pretty nicely. I love that. Sorry, when we were starting, Jake was like getting this whole like tie ready, and only to kind of like tuck it in and hide it. And I'm just like, okay, wow, this is. Not to put you on blast for like the reasoning behind that, but I just love the whole aesthetic.
That is not Coca-Cola. What's in there?
No,
Oh
no.
boy.
What's in there?
Dan, I'm wondering if you could do me a
nothing,
favor.
that interesting.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
Parker Pete.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Tell my audience from Environmental Coffee House who you are, so they know. They might not.
Fair.
Totally.
That's professional.
Totally. Interest. Haven't done this in a minute. So yeah, I'm Dan. I'm a political commentator. I talk about music and politics. I've been doing so in some way, shape, or form since, dear God, almost 10 years now, I guess. I started working at TYT. I worked there from in between being an intern officially there from like 2013 to 2020. So I have I worked on Hassan's show Agitprop. I helped him with his breakdown scripts. I worked a little bit with Emma Vigland. I have pretty decent relationships with a lot of the folks there. Somewhat annoying opinions notwithstanding sometimes. And yeah, since then I've been kind of doing stuff all around. There's a Good Morning Bad News on TikTok and Snapchat that I contribute to. There's a bunch of other different places I'm from. I'm from the internet. That's where we go. That's what we're doing.
Okay, well, thank you. That's good. I hope everybody that's watching from Environmental Coffee House now knows Dan.
Oh, yes. And
Yeah,
you can find my stuff at youtube.com/Dan from the internet, or danfromtheinter.net is where all of my links are to everything, all the shows
Okay.
I'm doing,
Clever.
etc.
Good.
We'll be
Thank you.
linking that up in the description of this video. I've always considered Dan to be like integral to online media as I know it. Like, because like you said, you were there from, I mean, behind the scenes at TYT is no small thing, right? Because of the legacy and how long they've been on and how many people they brought to online media through that one platform. And so to be a part of that is pretty big to me, but then to branch out on your own and remain successful is also pretty big. So I consider you like a true resource. Like I've picked your brain over the years like, hey man, what would you do here? So
It's
I don't
true.
know,
And let me just
cool.
toss on to that. Funny enough, I didn't I'm very impressed with your resume as an online lefty. But I gotta say, I hadn't actually come across content where I was like, "Oh, that's Dan, a person I recognize and look for," until you were like out of TYT, or at least less often, like when you were doing your own stuff. Just weird how that works.
Mm.
No, that's
Sometimes
that's all great to
it's-
hear. It's sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a positive, I think.
Yeah, that's all really nice to hear. I'm often in my own head about, success and numbers and, am I editing enough clips of my shows to get those out and things like that. But and especially because I admire so many of the folks on the screen for different things that have been like y'all have done. Andrea, especially like your awareness around COVID and all that stuff like online has like been just eye-opening and amazing for me. And I've been able to sort of express those feelings and those thoughts and kind of that urgency with other folks. And so I'm like very grateful for all of your voices. And if there's like an ounce or a measure to some extent that you feel that anything I've touched in that way has helped, I'm nothing but honored. I just love to see it.
This is such a weird time in history. I feel like the lot of us are going to, you know how this might depress us all a little bit more, but you know how like nobody really knows the people from the early days of rock. I feel like, I mean, the early days,
Okay.
Yeah.
like people
I know what
always
you
go
mean.
like, oh, little Richard, and I'm like, sure, but he was the Bieber of his time for 5 minutes. And I feel like we're gonna be like, when people look at the content we're making now, even if we're making whatever ends up being the thing in the future, I feel like when people look at the content we're making now, they're gonna say like, "Oh yeah, that was in that strange time where everything was transitioning from TV to the internet, and people were just making shows with what they had on hand."
So
I'm curious to see how it all evolves, and I'm pleased to be in company who makes content that I like.
Well, and
I don't make content.
how cool is it that you can be popular, or even like I call them celebrities. Like when Dan shows up in my chat, I'm like, we got a celebrity in the chat. But how cool is it that you can be that because of your pioneering and your behind the scenes and your production stuff and your technical stuff, and not just a face or a talking head, not just, because a lot of people are popular in media, like, yeah, right. I'm sure Anderson Cooper does some stuff behind the scenes, but anybody could be sitting there, it's,
No.
if he was doing it all himself, it wouldn't be that same measure of success or fame. So I think that popularity coming along with like the technical aspects is pretty cool.
I actually do a great Anderson Cooper impression. Dan, can you help me with this?
yeah?
Can you yell "cut"?
Okay. I'm gonna do it in the zombie of Larry King voice since we're on a CNN thing.
Okay.
All right.
Cut. Hello.
That's good. That's
Anderson?
good.
Anderson,
Done.
where'd you go?
It's Anderson Cooper
I need my
at the end of the
Metamucil,
day.
Anderson. God damn it, Vanderbilt.
Oh, this is great.
Solid Larry King.
He's an heir
Just
of the
pulling
Vanderbilt.
that out of nowhere.
Let's just never forget. He's an heir of the Vanderbilt. It's like,
I don't see suspenders, so it's a fake impression.
He was gonna go
not
get a
certified.
cocktail, right?
Oh yeah. Just the second they yell "cut," he's gone. He arrives, I'm sure, about 10 seconds before they go live. He's as you said, Dad, he's a Vanderbilt. This guy's never actually worked ever. Nor should he. F it.
Now, Wolf Blitzer, on the other hand, that's a hard worker.
How does that guy have a job?
I haven't watched any of these people in so long.
Does he own the channel?
He only has a job because his name is cool.
Wolfie.
It is
He's
a
a
cool
wolf
name.
blitzer. Yeah, what would a wolf blitzer be
It's a rad
in
name.
environmental terms?
Who's?
Blitzer?
I mean, a wolf blitzer. It sounds
what's
like a
wolf
name of like
blitzing?
a German tank or something.
It sounds like a fucking transformation in Naruto. That's what it sounds like.
Who's the guy with the porn name? Right, Jake Tapper. I'm like, that's another reason. Like, why are you here? Like, what are we doing here? Like, do we?
I always
you
thought that
really-
was a hitman name, but okay.
Ooh, Jake Tapper, hitman, who does porn.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining Jake Tapper looming over me, sweating, and it's a horrifying and hilarious.
changing my name to Jake Tapper OnlyFans.
Wolf
Pinkerbell,
Blitzer
Wolf
sounds like a
Blitzer.
drug thing.
Yeah, or
Sign
like a
me up.
lame drink. Like
I
somebody
know.
trying to sell seltzer to college kids. This is Wolf Blitzer.
I mean,
5%
that way-
alcohol by
I don't
volume.
know.
it does sound
Not
like
quite
a
beating
Will
liquid
Ferrell
Uh,
man name.
You have 19 or
Like,
20
not-
of these,
not
you're going to
real.
get a buzz on.
Where I live, a Wolf Blitzer sounds like a friggin' shotgun or a rifle.
Oh,
The Wolf Blitzer, man. We're going hunting with the Wolf Blitzer. That's
That
where I
actually
live.
does sound- yeah. Yeah, I could see that. It's very I think the regions we're in are affecting our
oh,
perception
choice.
of this.
oh.
man's
Well,
name.
then
Right?
where I am, it would be like a weed whacker.
Oh no.
Yeah,
The Wolf
they're trying to
Blitzer.
sell the new dads.
Ah.
You're not
Have you
whacking
seen
weed,
weed
you're using a
whackers,
wolf.
by the way? Like they have
With
that
the
like
green
weird
battery?
plastic ass stringy bullshit. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Like back
Oh,
in my
yeah?
day, we had like a fucking like a blade.
Your
You
day.
could cut your
Yeah.
foot off. Yeah, I used to whack weeds when I was like 8.
Those are
Really?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
They still
throw-
make
nowadays
those,
they have like the
Andrea.
weird plastic string and it's like designed to get into the environment. Like
It's
it's
horrible.
designed to break off and get into the soil. Like what the fuck are these people thinking?
You are right. It is horrible. And then try to restring it when it
Oh,
breaks. I don't even
ugh.
weed. I don't even use it much anymore. I mean, I don't care. I've regrown my places.
but those are for different uses. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
used to be a contractor. I'm extraordinarily familiar with this particular tool, and
Oh.
I can also attest. Yes, it's annoying with the string.
You're
also
you're a
cheaper.
tier 3 certified weed whacker.
Take the
Worse.
weed whacker.
Here's you can tell it's a house I worked on once upon a time if somebody else had to come in and fix it up before somebody moved in.
Nice.
Okay.
Jace, get the
That's
job
like-
done.
Yeah.
My
After-
wife used to come home and say, "Oh, you cleaned. I'll straighten up real quick."
Yes. I mean, I was
It's like, I
working for
tried.
the banks who were stealing homes from people. It was like I
Hmm.
justified my shoddy work by saying, fuck the client, though,
you should have sabotaged them. Termites.
I did.
I have to say,
now-
I do like taking
Termites.
this. Termites. Ugh.
I would
Yeah,
do
it's good.
this. There would be folks literally just waiting outside the property next to a van for me to leave so that they could then come in and rip the pipes out of the house. And eventually, instead of try to do a sting operation where my all I can do is beg them not to do a thing. I was like, let me take the after pictures, and then you do whatever you want. And I'll come right back here and get paid again to tidy up after you. Side note,
Come on over,
make a
Jake.
mess.
I knew you. I do like this idea, though, taking these crazy news people names or celebrity names, and then each of us figuring out what we would interpret it as. That was pretty good. I liked it.
Okay. Is a rent? What? How do you say this one? Hold on. Reince Priebus.
Reince
Reince
Priebus.
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 Wasn't he the GOP chair? Right. What is a Reince Priebus?
That's not a real AI generated name.
There was
I
AI.
feel
Reince
like that's-
Priebus. I mean, like, Reince Priebus was around during like, speaking of media eras, like one of the most cringy times for like political humor. I think like it was during the Obama administration. We were just like getting out of the like lolcat, little like Nyan cat, Icon has cheeseburger era of like
Oh,
memery.
yeah.
The best era.
We done been through this nose to the grindstone type stuff, right? But no, I heard a lot of like Bill Maher jokes for like what Reince Priebus
Mm.
could be. None of them are coming to mind, but rather than doing the cheap like, oh, it sounds like a sex toy, oh, it sounds like I'm gonna say it sounds like a tool a plumber would use to like snake and drain. Like I
Reince
gotta get the
Priebus.
Reince
Yeah.
Priebus. It's like the jaws of
Okay.
life
Yeah.
for people who like work in
Yes.
plumbing.
I like that.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
brilliant. Yeah, the
I
Reince
was gonna
Priebus.
say like a chemical for mold remover, like they use on like
Oh,
headstones and bird baths, where you just spray it and walk away. And
it's
it
toxic.
anyway.
What are you spraying
Like
on that thing? It's a Reince Priebus.
yeah,
Number 4.
like you don't have to know what the name is or what it means. It's that one product every time.
Okay.
I feel that way about
Funny.
Formula 409. I miss the old commercials where they're like, well, the world's not ready for Formula 410, so this is the best we got.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, what the fuck is Formula 410 like an Oppenheimer situation? Like once they made that, it's like, and now I am death, destroyer of grime on toilet seats and
Oh.
kitchens.
Well, I
Reince
think the
Priebus.
Reince Priebus is a pickle, a German pickle. The Reince Priebus pickle.
Reince Priebus.
Pickle.
That's
Would you like
sweet,
one?
not too sweet.
I can't some Reince Priebuses.
Sounds like
Yeah.
an organ that you don't know about until it gets infected.
Or
Ooh,
French
those are the worst.
French
having your
baked
Reince
goods,
Priebus.
maybe.
Oh yeah, I could. French.
But it
baked
has
goods.
in order for it to be French, I feel like Reince
Yeah.
Priebus needs like fewer syllables. Like it needs some more like O's and things like that, because there's no way I can just roll off the tongue like Romprebu, like or something like that, right?
That
That's not
almost
How about
so
sold
you,
me on it.
Andrea? What's your Reince Priebus?
Give us, yeah. What is it?
I don't know. I'm not funny. I'm sorry.
Oh, you are funny.
That
I'm not
is
funny. I
funny,
can't think
though.
of
That is
something.
Did
I'm
you
sorry.
know?
You're on Twitter.
Andrew's
No,
famously not.
I've never
funny.
been funny.
No. No,
Next subject.
not.
Emily French says it is the type of mold, not maybe
Oh.
not the mold cleaner. I've got Reince Priebus all over the house.
Oof.
And the
Hate
Senate.
when that happens.
Ugh.
I'm going to
Yeah.
scoop the Reince Priebus out. That's the brand.
You know,
Twitter.
I haven't heard about that guy in a long time. I'm glad this is the context he came up in,
This is-
just making fun of his name.
Since we're just like, I wouldn't call this lowbrow, just like making fun of how names sound, but like Mark Wayne Mullen. Like, were you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
familiar with? I believe it was like a Japanese baseball game where they were just like making up American names. Like, they were just making them up. It was like dude
Oh, that's
Batman or like shit like that.
Like Kemp Pauler.
Yeah,
like,
I'll
yes,
send it to you.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
I used to do when I was in the apparel industry. We would go into these product meetings, and all the vendors from overseas would come in, and it was like a 2-week thing where it was just 10 meetings a day. You'd sit down with like 2 to 5 different guys from these factories, and they're presenting all kinds of new fabric and zipper pullers and all kinds of stuff. And
Zipper
of,
pullers?
yeah, like the
Zipper
puller.
puller.
There's auto lock, semi-auto lock. There's a whole bunch of there's for outerwear. It's important to have different kinds. So
Yeah.
anyway, because you got to pull them with gloves on if you're skiing. You need to,
Oh, I've been there.
Andrew, trust me.
Outdoors.
So
I've had
For
like the
surfing,
glove
too,
get
like, you have
stuck
a-
in the zipper
Yeah.
so many times.
oh yeah, these
Do
guys
they
would
make
show you
zippers where my
ways.
hair doesn't get stuck? My hair gets
Yep.
stuck in them sometimes. And
Magnetic.
and then I go like, ah!
They use a type of material called Vislon, where it's not even metal. So these guys,
Not
you
even
would sit
metal.
down,
Holy shit.
and there's a handful of guys, and they don't speak any English. They're all, let's say they're just from Japan, I guess. They're not speaking English, maybe a little bit, and they're introduced to you by their North American counterpart. And he goes, this is Jeff, Rick, and Todd. And I'm like, those are not their names. And it was every time. Then it was a group of people who were coming over from China, and they're like, this is Bill, Steve, and Dan. And I'm like, these are none of you're making up American names so that we can get along with them quicker. I appreciate
Really?
it, but it
Yeah.
was so obvious it wasn't their names. It was really funny.
That is funny.
Matt, can
it-
you go into the
Oddly
private
funny.
chat and then like screen share the thing I sent you, because it's hilarious.
I cannot believe you just had that ready to go. That's nuts.
At the
I
hip.
can't
That's
see it.
nuts.
Can I see
Dan
it?
from the
I
internet,
go
baby.
ahead.
Oh, it's in the private chat. Oh, I can see
Yeah,
it.
but let's share it for the audience so we can just take in the this
The
is some
anti-white reverse racism, which is
Yeah.
extremely real,
first
as we can
one.
see on the screen right now.
What,
This
you've
Willie
never heard of
Dustin.
Unbelievable.
Sleeve McDykel?
Wow.
Bobson
Truck.
Dugnut.
Shout out to
it's
Mike
ready.
Truck. Mike Truck and I go way back, actually.
Oh,
Tony
sure.
Schmerich. Wow.
Carl
Devin
Dandleton.
Nagelny. Wait,
Mike
what now?
Bobson
Truck.
Dugnut.
I wrote Harleys with Mike Truck.
Glenn Allen Mixon sounds. That's funny.
My daughter went to school with
Bobson
Carl
Dugnut.
Dandleton. Carl Dandleton.
Gave him the
Willie
old Ray
Dustin.
McSriff.
This is like an AI generated thing. How'd they do this, do you
It's
think?
wild.
I mean,
No, they just sounded like American names to them. Like if I was like Yoshi Hanatoshi or whatever, just trying my best at Japanese names. Jigoro
pretty much,
Kano.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Mike
I love it.
Serrano.
So
I
it's like
love
what
that.
you would have AI do, but it's like
Yeah.
there was one beautiful day in some game developer office in like the 80s in Tokyo where a bunch of people were just throwing around like Bobson Dugnut. That's American. It's like,
Yeah.
they
That's
were just
American,
like
right?
there's like a writer's room of like the most lazy American sounding names.
Yeah, they
Do you-
have it.
do you know-
I
I would
appreciate
never
it.
think of this. This is cool.
Do you know that song? I want to say it was a Spanish guy. I'm not sure what the original language is, but it's gibberish made to sound like English because the guy was like, people love English songs so much that if we just make it sound like we're singing English, it'll be a hit. And it was. It was like a global hit. I'm going to try and read the name. Okay?
I think it was
Are you
Italian.
ready?
I've
Yes,
never
it
heard of
was.
this. I'm
So you know what I'm
excited.
talking about?
I have heard the story.
His name was Adriano Celentano, maybe, but it's a great song. I love it. It's called Prison Colin. This is one word.
Oh, that's like
Prison
German. I
Colin
can pronounce that.
Ensign and Siaso Soul. It's a fake word. It's just made up, but
No,
it's
that's
like
real.
20 some letters to make it. Anyway,
I
I
saw that in the
love
dictionary. It's real.
stuff like this because it gives me some perspective on how we sound to others. Similarly, there was some Swedes
Yeah.
that did like a dramatic scene where they're doing impressions of American English, but it's the same thing. It's just nonsense, and they punctuate every sentence by taking another bite of food from their plate, which was another subtle dig that I appreciated.
That's
One
pretty
of
good.
I don't know where y'all are based at, but as someone who's spent a lot of time in California, you'd be amazed by how few people believe that Californians and people on the West Coast of the United States in general have accents. Like I like they think, oh
Really?
yeah, they just like they understand the idea of a New Yorker accent or like a Texas accent, but to the Californian, it's like maybe there's like the Valley kind of drawl thing, but a lot of Californians just think, oh yeah, no, we're the default.
They not
We
watch
are
SNL?
The default.
I
Well,
like to say that I'm the default accent.
You
What's
think?
my accent? Tell me. What is it?
Pretty close.
Jersey.
Jersey.
Non-regional.
Philadelphia.
Let's see. Let me take a whack at this.
Seaboardian.
Yeah.
Iowa.
I feel like you had some lobster fishermen in your family, maybe getting Maine, upper Maine. Upper Maine.
Upper Maine.
I'm actually
Yeah,
stationed
Lower
in Lower
Maine.
Maine.
Yeah.
Think
Tyler
of that
Maine.
guy
Hackner
from
in
Pet
chat.
Sematary.
Sheila says Rhode Island.
Tyler Hackner in chat says a lot of people think us Minnesotans have an accent. Oh, absolutely. That was like okay, throwback
You
to
do,
old
Tyler.
politics.
They
Like
think
Sarah
they
Palin.
do?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah
vote for Sarah
Palin.
Yeah.
Her accent was way weird.
Don't ya know?
It was,
Now,
it was
what's
very
Sarah
Minnesotan,
Palin?
even though she's from Alaska. Yes.
Well, she was I think from Minnesota, but had just moved to
Fair.
Alaska.
Right,
Yeah.
because
Fair.
everybody moves to Alaska from somewhere else.
Free
except the
$3,000
I did.
indigenous people.
Yeah.
What,
I had to
really?
get rid of
You
my
did?
Yeah.
well, I
the-
shed
the-
my
This was in the Simpsons movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
oh.
remember that.
Wait, I heard you can get 15 grand if you move to some state. What was it? This is new.
Was it Montana?
Isn't that Israel?
No, oh God, please.
And
That's
you
a
say
good
you're
one.
not funny.
That was a good one.
That's pretty
I
funny.
thought it was Montana or one of those states. It's certainly not Idaho because Idaho is
No,
where
it's
all
like,
the
isn't it like Washington State or something? Or
I thought it was
Just
Maine.
found out last year, Lansing
Somebody
was
look it
paying
up.
people. Lansing, Michigan, was paying 15 grand to people to move there. I
15
moved out of there.
Mm.
Oh,
Well, that's
so
perfect.
so you
Now
owe them.
move back.
Yes.
owe 'em
Sorry, gang. Sorry,
15
Detroit.
grand.
that's
I had to
Lansing,
get rid of
Michigan.
my Maryland dialect. Do you know it's like Maryland and Philadelphia are pretty similar. They say water
Mhm.
like water. Can I have a cool
Water?
glass of water? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of
Everyone-
that.
Everyone said Wooder
you
when
work
I was
on it?
growing up, and I remember asking my mother one time, like, "How do you spell Wooder?" This is like I'm like 5, and she said Water, and I was like, "That's water," and she didn't understand. I was
Like not
confused.
in
I'm
Philly,
5.
honey.
So you
Yeah.
thought it was a different thing that people were
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
drink
I didn't
water,
know.
but water is what's
What
in
is
the ocean.
Wooder? I still don't know. What is that?
It's
Yeah, there was
Maryland. It's Maryland's version.
Yeah.
No.
Water,
say.
Maryland's version, like a Taylor Swift record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, what's your most California word that you say? Like where does the accent come out the most?
Yeah, right. Something like that.
Okay, so here's a Californian thing that I don't know if it's a Californian thing, but I've noticed it a lot in California. No, yeah means totally, and yeah, no is like a absolutely not, like no way. So like no, yeah,
I
and
love
yeah,
that.
no
Yeah,
are like
no.
very. It's
The
like yeah, no,
Valley
yeah, no.
Girl.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that makes sense to me. It's
I
just
mean-
basic mathematical logic.
Valley Girl is like yeah, someone in chat said that Californians invented vocal fry. I think Valley Girl is
Vocal fry. I hate
who is
You mom.
God, I'm so bad with actors, but
Alicia Silverstone.
no, Julia Fox.
I don't know.
I don't know
either
if
of
she's
those
from
people.
California, but like that, she does the California vocal fry almost like as a bit. It feels like it's a bit. But yeah. It's just
I'm
one
So
not-
thing.
I
that
heard a
SNL
girl like
the
that
SNL thing
today.
is not accurate, right? We're like, what are you doing here, Devin? That's
no,
like
and
nobody talks like that, right?
I do realize
Actually,
that
I talk like that.
the only thing they got right is I guess we are a place that puts the in front of our freeway names. Because I realize that even in Northern California, no one
5,
goes
yeah.
the 880, yeah, or the 22, yeah. But I've always gone the 405. We don't do the PCH though. Like anyone who says it's on the PCH, cop. Like it's just like you know
Oh.
they're like or a Fed or something. No one says
Fed,
the
yeah,
PCH.
out of state or
Pacific
yeah,
Coast Highway, by the
yeah.
way. For
Do
those
they
who
call
don't know,
that
it runs-
the one? Is that's not the
There's
one though,
101.
right?
That's 101. 101.
No.
Coast,
So
PCH is Highway
they-
1.
Pacific Coast Highway.
the 101, which was on the old US highway system, and then PCH being the one, right? People don't really refer to it as the one because it's Pacific Coast Highway. Like we just like, I mean, all freeways technically have names, like they're like memorialized after like sheriffs around here usually, but like
Ugh.
most people call it PCH or Pacific Coast Highway. It's people don't really use the one, and the parts of the like in San Francisco, the 101 and the one are like basically one and the same.
Right.
There's
They're
all
what
ones there.
Where
the
do you
same?
live, Dan? Exactly. Where
I live in Los Angeles,
Oh,
like Los
you're in
Angeles
LA.
area. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
yeah,
dox
we
yourself.
are all in... No, it's a big city.
Those are assassination
not-
coordinates.
Certainly don't want to.
I live in Hassan's house. Actually, I'm just like really just.
Oh, okay.
He gave me the smallest closet, which is still the size of like 3 like imperial courts. No, I'm just kidding.
That would not surprise me. That guy rakes it in. Good lord.
But I
love-
mean, like, there's no size in Los Angeles. There's no space. You don't get any
postage
space where you
stamp.
are.
Or
Yeah.
basements, right? You guys don't have basements so much in
No
Los
need.
Angeles. That
Although,
fair.
we do get a fair number of tornadoes. Actually, I'd say we get more tornadoes than
Things are
earthquakes.
changing.
Where do
I've
you
never
shelter from the
experienced
wrath
a
of God?
tornado.
We don't. It's California. We don't have that.
Oh, okay.
It's just like that's a thing. We pay a lot in gas, but there's like God's wrath just literally just doesn't touch you.
That's great.
I drove up and down the PCH one
Oh.
time, and PCH, and it was. I've never done anything like that. At times, it felt like I was on a ride, like
I
going
love
across
the
certain
Pacific Coast
bridges. I was
Highway.
like, "This is kind of scary," you know.
Do
Like,
it on a
it's
Harley.
wild out there. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be fun.
it's
I
one of my
did.
favorite
was
drives to
great.
do. And for folks who don't like to drive, if you ever do make it out to California, our like one of our few Amtrak lines is the Pacific Surfliner, and a lot of it follows honestly even closer to the coast than PCH does. So catch that, and you can get some really beautiful views around coast.
Have
But
y'all
yeah, it's like
ever
one of the best
been
drives.
on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge?
Yeah, I grew up there.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is the scariest motherfucker I have ever seen in
Especially
my
if
life.
if there's an accident, they stop the traffic, and you're like on the middle, and you could feel it sway. Yeah.
Big bridge.
Yeah.
I
No, I grew
have
up in
been. I was
Annapolis.
on that
I
bridge
told
when
you
I
that,
was like
right?
5 or 6, and it's been in my nightmares ever since. Like, that's one of my lucid dream triggers. If I'm on
Oh.
that bridge, I know I'm dreaming because it's a
Oh,
fucking
what-
scary ass bridge.
What about the
was this
Harry
bridge again?
Nice Bridge? Have you been on the Harry Nice Bridge? I think that's what it's called, actually.
I don't
Leaving
recognize the name.
Virginia. It's scary. It's really.
me
There's
look it up.
another scary one in San
particularly long?
Diego.
Oh.
Yeah. What's that one in San
I wanna
Diego,
write
Dan?
these
Are
down.
you familiar with this?
A bridge in San Diego.
They should have rebuilt this thing by now. It is steep. It's not long, but it's like it goes straight up and down.
Between which
really-
areas?
Can't remember
Yeah, I don't
exactly
know off
where.
the top of my head.
Me neither.
Used to go there
I
for
can't-
My favorite
Comic-Con.
bridges are where like you speed off the ramp and you get some air and then you land on the other side.
Dukes
That's
of
very
Hazzard like.
efficient.
Oh, that one. That's not that steep. That's the San
When
Diego
you're on it, though.
Bridge. Oh, nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, nothing. This is a deep cut again for LA people, but the Vincent St. Thomas Bridge. It's over the port of Los Angeles and Long Beach. That's scary. That is like my worst nightmares. They
Really?
recently had to fix it, and it looks kind of pretty now because it's looks like the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, which is also really
Yeah.
scary, but that's a really sturdy bridge. It's just San Francisco is a really earthquakey place.
Mhm.
Another thing I was thinking about, but are you aware of like bridge zippers? Because we were talking about zippers earlier, and I like making things full circle.
Bridge
But
zipper.
No.
I think
Hip.
the Golden Gate Bridge has a bridge zipper so that they can adjust
the
giving one side an extra lane during rush hour.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's like 2 cars that like zip the median as they go down, and
Right.
yeah, it functions like that. It's very, very strange to watch, and even worse to be in traffic behind or in front of.
Anybody
Gang?
ever heard of the Tappan Zee Bridge? That's a bridge
No.
that connected. Well, it's now called the Mario Cuomo Bridge, which I know, but it is in New York, and it connects. It connects over the Hudson River. And that's a very long, and it used to have those lane changers just like that, Dan. But they rebuilt the bridge. It's really ugly now. I grew up by the Tappan Zee Bridge, going over it. It's long. I mean, Andrea, you might think it's scary.
How the fuck are you gonna
Got it.
rename a bridge?
They did.
I
Because
love
you do
Cuomo was the governor, and his son.
He's just
was
like,
the
all right,
governor,
this
and
is
he
my
wanted to-
bridge now.
Yeah.
like
I got-
here's the California does not do that. I mean, okay, to be fair, like there's a Reagan Presidential Library. We have a really conservative governor a long time ago, like Duke Medjian or something, and there's a lot of stuff named after him for some reason. And maybe there's like a Jerry Brown coffee house or something like that. But I would be very surprised if we named something after our current governor, Gavin Newsom, unless it was like a strip club. Like it was like the Gavin Newsom Hooters. Like maybe we'll do that, but like
I think
we're not.
Greasy Gavin.
We don't play that.
No Newsom. You leave the Newsom out.
Used cars,
Greasy
maybe.
even better. Greasy Gavin's New Sum, and then like it cuts off at the
Oh,
end.
good one.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, what is it? And then you go in, and that's the end of the story.
I just think it's like a
We-
dim sum place. Like a
Gavin's
One, I
Grab
like that.
Asin.
Two, I have to rep the Mackinac Bridge and the Ambassador Bridge in Michigan.
Oh,
Terrifying. You're driving over grates most of the time, and the Great
Oh.
Lakes are beneath you, threatening to swallow all that you are into murky darkness.
Oh, we
I had my
had a
first
bridge
expe-
in. Oh, just real quick, in my hometown, we had a bridge called the Severn River Bridge. And then they made another
Sounds
one,
terrifying.
which you could see from the first one, and they called it the new Severn River Bridge. So they called the original the
Oh,
old.
confusing.
Then they rebuilt the old one. They called it the new old Severn River Bridge, even though the new one was older, and now the
Oh
old
my
was newer.
gosh.
It.
That's a bit
I was like, you
confusing.
guys just
That's the
rename these
first
fucking
junior
bridges.
I've heard.
Fuck
What do
these
you
An
think
bridges.
about
inanimate
bridges?
object.
These
Bridges
are
opened up the world to people, right? They took people and allowed for urban sprawl and moving and changing. I mean, bridges, what do they represent?
like
Moving.
this that naming story is why the Japanese hit us with like the onsen swimi and the willy
Yes.
duskus. They're like, we're not a serious place. We're not a serious place. They do that in America too, because like all the freeways have some of the first freeways in America are in Los Angeles, and unfortunately they haven't changed and they're still there. So they have like regulations that you would just not be allowed to build a freeway like anymore, like 50-foot exits onto like residential streets
Oh,
out of like blind turns, like those are the entrances. But no, you have a lot of situations where it's like, oh, this is old Route 395, and this is
Yeah.
new
that
Route
way.
395 frontage, and it's just like, can we let's give Newsom
Everywhere.
this dirt road over here? Like, let's just do that. Let's give it a name, please.
now that I
Oh.
would enjoy immensely. Naming terrible things after terrible people as a way of just dealing with the fact that they need to be named, apparently. Yes.
Yep.
I
Let's
like-
give him
I
a
think-
rancid body of water like Newsom Slew.
Yeah.
Like, just do that.
Damn.
Well, I think
Newsom
Mario
slew.
Cuomo in
Ugh.
New York was a better governor than his son.
Oh
God.
Now,
yeah,
what's the-
those.
What's that?
So
I don't know what that
Oh yeah,
if you
they have 'em
have
in
a
the mountains
truck,
too.
yeah. So the Grapevine in California, which the 5 freeways like the arterial thing in California, it's how you get to basically the fastest way to get vertically through the state. And it's like painfully flat most of the time, but Los Angeles is very hilly. And as you're leaving the like Santa Monica Mountains and going through that part, you're in the Grapevine, a lot of farming and stuff like there. Wild, like just insane ups and downs. And so if your big rig 18-wheeler lorry like truck does not have good brakes and you're going downhill and like you can't stop, they have these
Oh, the
slip off
runoffs.
lanes. Yeah, the
Yeah.
runoff lanes.
Mhm.
And so it's like
Cool.
they
Small
build
rubber.
it so like it just all of a sudden just shoots upward. So it
Mhm.
should stop the momentum of a runaway truck.
That's very
Yeah.
smart.
It's
Yeah,
all
very,
over.
very
Those
smart.
are all over. Thankfully for those, I've seen a few.
I have a question for
Trucks.
Dan.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Could you show what like the microphone looks like, the bottom half of the microphone? This is an odd request, but I'm just curious.
We all know why.
I'm just
Right.
could you rotate it?
Does it have words on it? Because
I
It,
think
it
it's
says
different
sure at the bottom,
brand.
I'm
yes.
getting the sticker.
Oh!
So I
Sure.
would
No,
like to once again, I do not have that microphone.
Well,
Like,
okay,
I
so
just want to
here's
say this is a 4 versus 1 right now.
so
You're
actually
saying you
it's
need to shore
terrible
up
because
your sound.
I have the microphone y'all have actually.
Oh,
This
he
is
is
your
in
Shure
blue.
MV7.
Yeah.
No, I don't have
There's-
it. I don't have. Don't
No.
lump me in.
Andrew
I
Well,
am
doesn't
yeah.
not
have
a
it.
part of this crew.
A good mic, I'm telling you.
It's
Reliable.
a lovely mic. This is
Yeah.
the like more portable, usable version of this one. This one's just like it's the professional one, so I just had to have it. But
Yeah, which one is
Oh.
that?
I am
Which
a
one
free
is that,
thinker. I
Dan?
got a different
This-
microphone.
He's got the bigger
you
one,
know?
the-
I don't
This is the
use the
SM7B.
top Google
This
result.
this only has the XLR output, so it's really good
Mm-hmm.
in traditional recording contexts in like in a music studio, yeah, recording studios, things like
Sure.
that. It's all XLR houses. Most computers don't have XLR inputs. A lot of computers just don't even have inputs anymore. So
No, you have to buy it like a Focusrite Scarlett, or something that.
yeah, that's exactly what I
That's
have. I
what
have
I
a
have.
a sound interface connected to.
Me
So yeah,
too.
Yeah.
so when you don't want that, and you're just like, I want a microphone to plug into a thing, you get something like the wonderful mic that Andrea has, or you get an MV7 like this.
No, hell
Because
no.
it just
your
plugs
mic?
in via USB.
Yep.
So
This one?
So what is
Easy
the
peasy.
minority microphone? No, the minority one that
I don't even remember which one I have. I don't know the brand.
didn't
I think
say
it's
it
the
on there?
Ars
headset.
Technica or something.
it doesn't
I don't
say
know,
it
like
on.
Minority
the
headphone.
thing is
Wow.
scratched off, like the paint, because I
labeling.
touch it all the time.
Oh, she.
What?
That's awesome.
I want stickers to put on mine. I saw just Jesse Dollamore clip came up, Matt, and they have mics with the box around them that say the name of the show.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was cool. I've seen
Oh,
them,
mic
but
jackets.
I just saw.
Yeah.
I just saw that
Yeah.
today. I want a
Well, you call 'em-
tree. I want moss.
them
I want
flags.
something growing off my mic. How's that?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like
gonna
that.
have
We
to
should
see
be
if I
doing
can
Gonna have fruit
an
flies. It's gonna be fruit flies all over that.
Oh, I've had aphids this winter. Trust me, I was overwintering
Oh.
plants, and they.
Hmm.
It's not
Fruit
working.
Is
flies
there
are
a-
the worst,
My
man.
peppers.
Holy
Do-
shoot.
Do y'all have like because New York has this lanternfly issue? I was on lanternfly TikTok for a while. It was a really strange place, but
Did you say a lantern?
Lanternfly, yes. And not in my county yet.
yeah.
Where are you
So
from, Dan, originally?
I was born in California. I grew up a lot of different places.
you
I
are
spent a lot of time in
Californian.
I spent a lot of time in England. And I
That's
used
why
to
you
have
said Lori earlier?
Yeah.
yes. So I know a lot of those phrases. It
Cool.
sucks. Anytime I go back to England, my accent just naturally comes back. But everyone's
Oh,
like,
that's cool.
I have no idea where you're from because I don't sound British enough anymore.
Oh,
But I also don't sometimes sound American enough. I mean, I've
yeah.
after years of camera training, I can do it a lot better. Like I can be American more normally. It's hard for me to go back unless I'm around a bunch of British people, and then it happens uncontrollably.
Can I throw? All right, you were talking about lanternflies, and I do want to go
Still
back.
don't know
to
what
that,
those are.
but I
Ugly.
have one quick question:
They don't look cool.
Is Andrew Tate faking his accent, in your opinion? I think he is.
I think he's forcing it more than he should be. I think I've seen him when he's trying to be tough and he's doing something that sort of sounds weird, but then I've seen him try to be like sophisticated and he tries to posh up a little bit, right? I'm from England has the opposite dynamic of America where like generally the more north you go, you're more like rugged
Yes.
and like working class, whereas like more south you go, that's kind of like more snobby and things like that. So it's the reverse of north and south here. And so I
Yeah.
grew up in one of the more northern cities, and that accent is Manchester. It's more of an emphasis on O's and U's in a really sort of unique way that almost makes you Scottish. And almost makes you unintelligible even to other British people sometimes.
I have
but
one British
I love
joke, Dan. Why do all the why do the people in Manchester keep having sexual intercourse with their mailboxes? Because they
You're-
all say ER on them. Only
Lord.
a guy that lived there will get that.
Oh Lord. No.
Yeah,
There's a lot of math to
Andrea.
go into that. That's it.
Andrea.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Please tell us about the lanternflies. I'm sorry we did the shenanigans.
I don't want to know about the lanternfly.
No,
I
so
do,
yeah,
actually.
go ahead.
It's a
I
cognito
don't know what
hazard.
it is.
Well, I was just gonna say real quick. Do you know why everyone was so excited when the shovel was invented?
Oh no.
I don't know why.
I
Oh,
didn't
no.
know.
Because it was so groundbreaking.
We're
Oh,
starting to dad jokes.
I thought it was
early.
so everyone could finally ditch their hoe.
Oh, that's a good one,
Ah,
Dan. That's a
couple
good
of
one.
different levels there.
Dad jokes. Yeah,
shit.
there they are. The dad jokes. That's
That's
funny.
I'm glad I busted them out. Then that was great, Dan.
Will you please? Will somebody please tell me what a lanternfly
Okay,
is?
so
I genuinely
Yeah,
think you were
we
messing with
want
me.
to know that.
Now
I
I
No,
wanna
it's
know.
true. It's ugly. It looks like a lantern.
yeah, they are these really large, like beetle type things
Mhm.
that they're the type of bugs that are loud when they fly. Like
I
it's
think I
just
had
really
them. They're
yeah,
gross. They're black
yeah,
and they're different color. Yeah, and they were all over my deck this year. It was
yeah.
disgusting, actually.
Around like, late summer, early fall.
Mine was early. It was
Okay.
early in the season, but it was gross because it was when I was trying to get things set up, and it is the first year I've ever seen them here. I didn't think now that you said it, it was really gross. I was feeling invaded, and they would try to get on you. I mean, and they're invasive. They're not fun.
Yeah,
But they
they
went away. They went away though. They went they were gone.
yeah, they migrate. They're very invasive. They're like by the millions. New York has them worse than rats sometimes.
Ugh.
And I
And they
was kind of
make
just
them
asking, like,
migrate.
is there any sort of like bug or thing like that that reminds you of like a time of year or like even this time of year?
Mm.
Hate
Again, this is California, so this is like God's land, so we don't really get bugs during the winter. I get annoyed if I see an ant from time to time. So like I'm surprised that I like New
Okay.
York so much, but yeah.
Oh, I
In
love
South
bugs, but
in
not
South
those.
Carolina, we
Yes.
get ant hills springing up everywhere. They could be like 2 feet in diameter. It's the most incredible
Wow.
thing I've ever seen. It happens in the winter, you get a lot of rain, the
Wow.
ground gets very soft, and all of a
That's
sudden,
cool.
it looks like, it's not cool. It looks like a
Oh, it's not.
minefield.
Oh,
If you see one on, like, a ravine on the side of the road, it could be, like, 4 or 5 feet in diameter.
wow.
Like, a
No, they're
Ugh.
not
massive,
like that
huge
here.
it is like a
I
horror
just want to
movie. I was
say
like,
we
"What
need a
is that?"
complete and total
Ants.
shutdown on these fucking ant hills until we figure out what
That's
the
what I'm
hell's
saying.
going on.
It's like ant
That's what I'm saying.
settlements.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Well,
some
it's
fucked up shit.
different than
Ant
I
metropolis.
mean, than I'm used to. I mean, that's why I said, "Cool." I didn't know. So you think that they are, uh, radiated ants? Oh god. We're
Probably.
living in a toxic soup.
South Carolina throws down with its like random
Tropical.
nuclear history. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, we
Yeah.
we we are in toxic soup. I mean, where did the lanternfly come? And seriously, it was horrible this year. First time ever I experienced that.
We get
Thankfully we don't
deer
have them in LA,
ticks.
so I don't know too much about them.
Mm.
Other than
Wait, you're
being
telling
on
us this about lanternflies? They're not even in your area? I thought that was the premise.
I know
thought you were
He's a
well
fending them
studier.
off.
He studies.
I was in New York right as they were peaking, and I got
Okay.
the lowdown on how they were
Ah.
going down. Yeah, the New York
Yeah.
State Department of Environmental Conservation mentions that
Mhm.
the adults tend to appear in July, and in fall, adults lay 1 inch long egg masses on nearly everything from
Oh
tree
god.
trunks, rocks to vehicles to firewood.
Whoa.
They're
Whoa.
I'm gonna
smooth
have
and
to go
brownish
scout.
gray with a shiny, waxy coating when first laid.
I disagree.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so there's this thing
Ass.
called bug assault where it's like a bug gun. I don't know if you've heard of it before.
Yes.
I need that.
Yes, and so that's like the best thing because it's again like they're big, so you can kind of like throw them out of like the air and like they're pretty much dead at that point. But they're like crunchy bugs, right? So if you got like a bug
Oh
gun
no.
for it, then it's a lot better. And so I was getting served a bunch of TikTok videos playing this one Spanish song El Paso de Gigante, like a Mexican song, and it's just like it's a good corrido matched with a guy like from the Wild West style, just like getting a bug assault out and murking Latin fries, and that was
Wow.
that was TikTok for me for a little bit. It's been the internet's so
Modern
cool,
pig
like
iron.
you were saying.
It
Dan,
is. Yeah.
hey,
Get lost.
Dan, do you have a lot of, like, dogwood trees out in California?
Oh no.
Do you know why they call
I
them dogwood trees, by the way?
I don't know
why?
why.
Make it
Because of
stop.
their bark?
Oh no.
Do you know why this is serious?
Studying
Do you
that.
know
You're
why
studying that book.
this is serious, though? Do you know why you should never kiss anyone on January 1st? Because
I don't
it's
know
the
why.
first date.
Ah!
First date.
Well, guys,
That one's serious.
We are
I-
I'm
9
sorry.
minutes
I had to
before
get
the
off
hour,
the bug
folks.
topic. I had to get off the bugs.
No, it's totally
Yeah.
fine.
yeah, because
You
it
know,
just
when
sort of
we're
gave me
all
post-traumatic bug. Now I have to worry about that coming up.
when we're all entering hell, the reasons
I'll be
are going to
there.
be. Yeah, oh yeah, the reasons
be
are
there
going to
with
be
the dad
written like
jokes.
on a card we have to hold, and for me they'll say that thing you did in Wisconsin. For Andrea, all different things, but for Matt, we know it will definitely be that joke right there.
It's gonna be you and Jenk. Like you and Jenk are
Oh.
gonna be bunking in
Does he
hell.
do dad jokes?
Yeah. Our
Oh.
punishment
to an
is each
obscene
other.
level. Yes.
Yes,
That
I
may
have
be the only
post-
redeemable
post-
quality he has.
It's like a
I don't know.
0.1%
I gotta
in the
tell you
polls,
this.
right?
What,
I'll say this. TYT is getting its knocks, and Jank and Anna specifically, and I understand why. No disagreements there. But I gotta say, they've been around for a long time, and I remember the early 2000s. Once upon a time, having an opinion that was even slightly left of kill everybody outside of the United States was just not viable as a business. And I got to give them credit. TYT, the organization, set aside Jank and Anna, but the collection of people that made that a viable media platform it's a minor miracle, frankly, in the media environment it was born in.
Yeah.
It is the rose that grew up through the cement.
No, there's a lot of core things like that. Like I think of Democracy Now! Started a week before my birthday. It's a very that's a
crazy.
long-standing institution as well.
That's wild to think about.
My first knowledge of Sam Cedar in my head was when I was 5 years old and my mom was taking me to school and she had Air America on the radio.
That's
Right.
cool.
Whoa!
Like
You gotta tell him that. He'll be so tickled to find
I
that
have.
out.
I have. Sure, I can say it, whatever. I
gotta
did
know.
some I did like a temporary work with the Majority Report earlier this year, and
What?
that was like my intro. Like when I got to email Sam, I was like, my mom's gonna love this because she
Yes.
was listening to like your show when I was a 5-year-old in a car seat.
in the car seat.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Wild.
yeah, it's very interesting from that perspective to sort of see like how like like you're saying, back it was rough in the streets back then. Like Keith Olbermann was considered to be the main progressive of record, like the literal
He
baseball
was.
crank.
I
The
watched
literal
him
baseball crank.
all the time, but he wasn't horrible back then. I mean, that's what we had. We had that.
Yeah.
On MSNBC, there was another guy that passed away. Oh, but this is going back.
To
Yeah.
this day, Keith Olbermann has a soft. He holds a spot in my heart, even though I've seen his
I haven't
shows.
listened to him in a long time.
They're good. I
It's
mean, they're
hard.
They
fine.
are.
But like there's just if you are either as aware as Dan has been since he was an infant apparently, or you were kicking around and watching the news during that era. It was ooh, I like the canted angle. I don't know, it's kind of slick. But
Yeah,
the
it's like a
point
Dutch
is that
angle, right? Like that's what we're doing.
Don't
Yeah.
mind me. I'm trying to figure this out.
the point is that
Y'all have professional setups. I use a stack of video games and I just put my mic on the desk. Like this is how my operation works. Sometimes things fall over. It happens.
You're plumb thugging it out here. It's all good.
The only
The
reason
point
why
just
I have
being-
what I have is Bila Lagrisi, who is in my chat, who came here
Hey.
and set this up for me.
first of all, what
Thank
an
you,
angel.
Bila. Bella,
Second of all,
whatever.
I'm
Right.
just saying it's like looking at sports of a different era. You kind of have to judge by different standards, because it was a different game then, and to exist at all. I'm sure there was plenty of people with the kind of opinions that these days we would be
Mhm.
thrilled by, but
Yes.
that we would have never heard them because if you didn't want to devour Iraqis, then you were considered a traitor. Like it was
Yeah.
rough back in the day.
No, and I remember like if you wanted to be a vocal
Ah.
secular person, you had no other choice but to watch Bill Maher, right? Like
Oh,
I loved Bill
really
Maher
rough.
when I was a teenager, man. I was like, oh, he's an
Man.
atheist.
I
Oh,
I was
Pot
like,
smoker,
yeah,
atheist.
I was the
Yeah.
Cool guy.
I was the teenage atheist. I had gotten my school to do an airing of Religulous. I
Oh,
kind of as a
I've seen that.
kind of as a bit, I started my high school's atheist club, mostly because I wanted to point out that all the religious based clubs got like extra perks and things like that, and so I wanted to push it as far as I could go to
Hell
prove a
yeah.
point.
the man.
My
Been
my
the
favorite
man
my favorite
since
things
we
from
were a
that,
boy.
we've tried. My favorite things from
That's
that
awesome.
are one, we got to do three things from that. Every club on campus had to have a teacher sponsor, and ours was like the straight-laced Catholic guy who always wore like, you know, shirts like button-up shirts and like dress slacks. Like he just like never changed out of that uniform. And he was down with it because like he was like, yeah, I agree with the principle entirely. Like the idea of it. Secondly, we got to do a really nice debate with the Christian club and the like atheist club, which was fun. Three, we had the best fundraiser ever, which was Stone and Atheist. It was basically people would pay us money to throw water balloons at us, and we were like some of the most annoying
Oh,
people on
really?
campus, and we made a lot of money.
That's a great
That's
story.
Oh, that's
college
genius.
days.
I just want to say none of mainstream media is worth listening to. It's all garbage. Don't
I don't.
listen to any of that crap. Ignore it all. That's please continue.
Well, I
I
couldn't in
agree.
Florida. My mother loves MSNBC still, even though her beloved
This is what I'm
radio
saying. If
is not on there.
if there's 2 segments a day that are great, I don't care. It's overruled by all the garbage. It is if capitalism is a problem, cable news, legacy media, it's all being funded by corporations and
Yep.
weapons manufacturers. It's all
Yep.
garbage. It's all part of the problem. It's just KFAB. It's just
I got
scripted
great
go.
news for you.
animosity.
Fantastic
By the
news for you.
billionaire
Not
owners.
only is it, I'm so sorry, Sandy. I always talk when you're talking. Not only is it dying, you all are killing it and good. Sandy,
Bullying
I'm
works.
sorry. I'm
Horrible.
passing the
Horrible.
I
stick.
wasn't really saying anything that relevant. It's your turn.
I am gonna do so on my members only live streams. I critique other lefty shows. Like I don't do it publicly. I just do it in private for
Have
the
you
members. So
critiqued Above It
become a
All yet?
member. No, this is the thing is I'll pick something to critique all lefty shows for. Like things that I think it's kind of I don't know if it's a purity test, but it's my version of that. It's like we shouldn't be doing this, right? None of you should be
I
doing
love
this. Like,
shitting on my fellow leftists, man. Oh, nothing gets me going in the morning better.
like last time was about
Um,
like using the latest poll as a story. Like just
I
Did
feel
you
like
hear
I was
about
a-
that
I was a-
poll?
I feel like
You
I
mean
was
the
inspired by
Rasmussen
that.
poll?
The
The
whole
Heritage
rant.
Foundation?
I'm a morning
As
consult man
someone
myself.
whose last name ends with ski, I'm very offended by what's happening on this live stream. I don't know if I can
Not that.
be a part
I
of it.
mean,
Oh no.
saying that Donald Trump is leading in the polls like 2 years out or
Oh,
whatever, like that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
well,
But
that's ludicrous.
because, and one thing is and there's you guys know more about this than I do for sure, but one thing that I realized a while back was when they say it's a nonpartisan poll, what that means to the average person is, oh, they're not beholden to any one party. But what it could also mean is they take funding from literally anyone and everyone.
Oh
Right.
no.
So I
Well,
don't know
pollster
how.
companies, they all have a leaning. They do, the polling companies. When they say they don't, they still do. You're right. They're taking money.
Yeah.
And the Heartland Institute, who is the huge climate denier organization, they did a poll on with Rasmussen, who it was like 1,000 people, and they were trying to show that the mail-in ballots were fraudulent in 2020. And this is still going on, this shit. And the Heartland Institute is full of horrible, cherry-picking, lying, not scientists. Awful.
My favorite is when like CNN, right after a debate, they talk to like 6 people in the studio, and then the next day it's like a CNN poll said, and it's like, wait a second, those are
And then
the
like
6
2 days
people in the
later, you find
studio.
out that like 2 days later, you find out that like 2 of those people in the studio are like chairs of their local
Yeah.
Republican Party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
God.
Yeah. Anyway,
The
I went off about that.
no. So there was a lot of things about that. My co-host Sean on Audio Face once coined this part of me as Dan's slash and burn vision of journalism. But I mean, it's kind of like no secret when you think about like the things I worked on at TYT, like the breakdown, a lot of the anti-Tommy Lauren, anti-Ben Shapiro type stuff. Like I just get like annoyed with, as I'm consuming a lot of politics, and I do listen to a lot of stuff on the other side, I'll just get annoyed by mismatches. With Ben Shapiro, this is a really savvy rhetorical person who says like some of the most dumbest things on earth if you just like take off the premise, like look at the premise for a couple seconds, right?
Yeah.
And so one of my favorite like beefs I did in that vein was when I got a Nate Silver of 538, the founder of 538, to say I think he tweeted, because he was doing a podcast at the time. I think it was like owned by ABC, like a 538 politics podcast. He said, I started the show today by saying the Young Turks are full of shit. The reason why is because I think, I forget what the ultimate, oh yeah, it was about youth support of different Democratic Party candidates. And what no one bothered to do was actually look at the polls itself and the crosstabs and methodology. And what you found when you understand how to like read some of these polls and understand how they're taken, so like to your point, is that when they can't reach to a certain demographic, what was happening in this poll specifically was they were getting a lot of people answering this poll who were above the age of 45, above the age of 55, right? But people ages 18 to 30, there was such a low sample size that there was a calculation done based on the few people who participated to try to extrapolate where those numbers would be, right? And so like, that's a calculation. Even if you share the calculation, you're making choices in that.
Bad statistics.
It's bad statistics. And there's the smugness that people who I think 538, the idea of aggregating polls and getting an average on that, like again, if you're into polling, and I think we're just trying to seek like a measurement, like a temperature check on public policy before we have elections. So I want us to like I want us to evolve and get some better methodology of doing it. But it's the fact that you have people like Nate Silver, people who hide behind the stature of science and data and then smugly look at it otherwise, is kind of the result thing you're seeing in online independent media, where on the downside, anyone with a Twitter or X account believes that they're a news source from time to time. But on the other hand, like you are able, this is ARN, right? But like you are able to kind of cut through the BS a lot faster. And at that point, when Twitter was kind of like a mouthpiece where, little old me can pop off to someone like Nate Silver and like get him to be like foaming at the mouth mad the next morning, like super or extremely Elon not Musk. Mad on his podcast. Yeah, the Elon Musk thing too. Like that was like that's a great thing about it. And I think like to the point about polling, which you're right about, even though I fall into this trap sometimes too, is that I feel like it's gotten worse and worse, not totally unreliable, but it's like worse and worse and less predictive over time and less useful as a political tool or like even a rhetorical tool.
My thing about polling is that I think fundamentally Americans are really stupid. And so like depending on how you ask the question, you can get completely different results. So like there was like a poll I saw that was like juxtaposing like, do you agree with the Supreme Court's ruling on Roe versus Wade versus like, do you agree that states should have the right to do whatever? And it's like those are the same question, but like they get wildly different numbers because Americans are just fucking, they got rocks in their brains.
Well, it's manipulation.
I like the way Hassan actually put it really well once, which is that like every American holds like two contradictory ideas about almost everything at all times. And so like it may not, I mean, I think a lot of it is ignorance, but I also think like that's a cheap thing to say sometimes. Like, no offense to you, but like I think it's easy to just scapegoat America as like dumb, again, like 2000s liberal media. That's like pretty much all it was.
We've talked
But
about that at length.
I've done part of my reason like why I stand 10 toes on some of the stuff was that before I was in political media, I actually was like on the ground working on political campaigns and like knocking on the doors of candidates and like talking to regular people. And my experience doing that in California in like Los Angeles County is not representative of everything, but it you get to see a lot of walks of life. You meet a lot of conservatives, you meet a lot of Democrats and liberal people. You hear about their issues, and a lot of time it's like it's to the broader point you were making earlier, Matt, about like how little people are really taking cable news seriously. Cable news is, except for like really big times like this, where you know, like there's a big conflict going on in Israel Palestine, that stuff. But like cable news is so unrelated to what most people are talking about on a day-to-day basis, and the way most people in the world like frame politics. It's why like Fox will brag one night when they have 1.5 million views, and like Fox News will brag that, and like you see the ratings for like The Voice or like a football game.
Oh
It's like
gosh.
10 times more than that. It's like Fox News is like not a blip on the radar, right? Like,
Yeah.
so those folks who are like not plugged in all the time are thinking about, you know, it's the trope of like pothole politics. Like, what are the things in my community that are most important? And I've actually found that because of that, yeah, there's stupidity there, and yeah, there's a lot of like bias you can exploit, but like rhetorically, I've been able to convince people who are on paper Republican of things that are very pro-labor or pro-human rights by coming at it at the way they think I'm going to come at it, but differently. I know I'm talking a lot, but I just love this one
Clarify
example.
that a little bit.
I'm fascinated.
You're the guest. You have the unlimited vocal time.
What do you mean by
Matt knows if I use that, I'll turn his show into a 3-hour thing. I think to this day I'm the longest.
We can do a 3-hour thing.
It's your show.
No,
you can. I might not.
I'll go through this really quickly. So I was talking to someone who was running for office in Orange County. For folks who don't know, Orange County is the reddest part of California that's still wealthy. We have a lot of red areas, but they're like in the middle of the nowhere, farm towns, things like that. Great places still. A lot of liberals and lefty people there still, so you can't like write it all off. But Orange County has like a particular trope and a stereotype. Katie Porter's from down there. She's like showing that, again, you have places like that where you have to kind of stand on 10 toes and fight for it, but you can be a Democrat, and you can be a very pretty strong Democrat even in those conditions. So anyways, a guy I know, really good on politics, really good on social justice issues, was like, you know, he's in the district where Disneyland is, or like around that area. And a big issue there, of course, especially on the labor side, is you have a lot of people who work at Disneyland in the service industry, whether it's for food or, you know, people who are cast members for Disney. And then they sleep in their cars on Catella Avenue and Beach Boulevard and Disney Drive and all those other different things, right? So it's like a major labor issue. But to a lot of conservatives and Republicans back then, the thing they hated about Disney was this like nebulous thing about, you know, Ron DeSantis is talking about wokeness, and yeah, there are all these like movies, and, you know, I don't like Hollywood and all those other different things. So I tell my friend, they already hate Disney. They don't know why. Give them that why. And so I was able to get them. He said he was able to convince the Orange, like that, like town in Orange County, the Chamber of Commerce, stereotypically a very conservative, you know, Republican organization. He was able to turn them pro-labor essentially, because he said, yeah, you know what, Disney is an issue. It's a massive corporation. It's very unaccountable. And while they ask for special benefits and special changes to the airspace over it, so like nothing can fly, their workers are living in cars and parking along the streets, and they're treated like crap. So why
Mhm.
is that company not respecting people in your city and giving them enough money to be able to live and work and consume things in your city? So it's like you didn't
Really
have to go down the anti, like you don't have to trash on trans people. You don't have to trash on queer people. You don't have to, do the Ron DeSantis angle. But we can still agree on some motherfuck Disney. All right. We can still, there's plenty enough motherfuck Disney to go around for everybody. All right. You just gotta, you have to be open enough to be able to see like where those openings are. They don't exist everywhere. But I
Did
think
they
like
actually get policy enacted?
they didn't win their election ultimately, but as like again, I was saying this in the context of a rhetorical thing, right?
Sure.
And I like to think that especially in like door knocking politics, you don't really change minds with one conversation, but you plant seeds, and then sometimes those seeds blossom in people's heads, and sometimes they're like completely neglected and discarded. And like Andrea was saying, this is a dumb country, right? Like you're right, but a lot of times there are those seeds that are there, and there are people in their 80s who didn't grow up being accepting of certain types of people who now get it because of seeds that were planted or moments they had or experiences, or they realize, oh, my friend I've been bowling with is gay this whole time. Okay, whatever. Like, so it's possible. I try to have that open mind, especially because you don't really get to do that as freely, I find, in online independent politics and media politics as well, where you really have to, it really ends up being watered down to team sports.
Yeah.
I always enjoy doing door knocking because you just get all kinds of different people, and you have to like, I try to treat it like a video game where you're reacting to like the boss pattern, like which, talking point are they going to use? You have to bust out the flow chart in your head. Okay, so they said this. They love
like
healthcare.
your
They
Mass
want
Effect,
healthcare,
like
but they hate
question
Bernie.
tree.
Yeah, like you have to, and it's all like you have to do it intense and quickly, like, so like, what are your top 3 issues? Healthcare, labor, blah, blah, blah. I hate Bernie. He's a communist. Okay, so what do we do with this? And like, it's very enjoyable. But one thing, as a slight response would be that I think a lot of people are like really fickle, right? And so like, if you can convince someone of something, how long lasting is that, conviction going to be? Like, I've been able, as a trans person, I've been able to convince family members that I don't deserve to be killed. And yet like like in random other conversations, they'll still say like random shit that's extremely bigoted, right? So it's like, or if like, I'm not in the room and they're talking to someone on the phone, and I like, I used to live with conservatives, right? So like they talk to someone on the phone and they talk about like how the LGBTs are like grooming kids, and it's like I've had like 10 hours of conversations with you about this, and it's like sometimes I'm not convinced. You need to plant seeds, but then you need to nurture the fucking soil. You need to like till this. I'm not a farmer. I don't know.
No, I do. You're
You
doing
gotta
well.
till. You gotta
Maintain,
fertilize, maintain. You
build and
gotta
grow.
sediments. Anyone
Yeah,
sediments?
I respect a lot of what you said, and I don't disagree with it all. As I'm queer, but being bisexual and a cis man, I think that's just a different experience of it. But I can say, coming from my experience as a Black person in the United States, that like, yes, even with civil rights being passed and people like Martin Luther King, there were still white people who like in conversation and like would be nice to their Black friends, or maybe not. Well, yeah, you like they might be nice to their Black friends, or like not insult their Black coworker to their face, and then sound like Bull Connor or any sort of like typical Republican back then behind closed doors. I mean, you have that today.
I know. I worked with people like that. I had to enforce affirmative action policies in my job, and I had some horrible people that had to go, and I had to do it because they were just defaming people. It happened several times. You just we couldn't have that environment.
And I say all that to say, like, that's the unfortunate sort of like reality of progress, especially when you're dealing with people individually, is that
Yeah.
the first step you can get is just, can you like face to face treat me as a person and
Yeah.
start to understand what I'm going through? And maybe you put on a different, facade when you're on with other people because you feel like connecting with them is like mirroring their rhetoric, right? And yeah, it's 10 hours. Like I feel for that. Like you shouldn't have to spend hours justifying your
Well,
existence.
I don't live there anymore, so
I,
thankfully.
I'm very glad for you. I'm
Good.
very glad for you. But yeah, it's a battle. Sometimes you get progress and things move forward. Sometimes those resentments bubble up and it feels like you're regressing in a lot of different ways. Sometimes you find out that people within this house, we believe Black Lives Matter, all people are people. They're actually like, genocidal and supporting the right-wing government of Israel. Like masks come off very often and they slip very often. So that's sort of like setting your expectations a little bit. You'll make inroads with some people, you won't with others. The thing I found is that if a lot of other people are saying the same things, then all those nudges eventually become like a changing opinion. So if, not believing in a deity necessarily, but miracle happens and all of a sudden people that you're talking about face social criticism or social ostracization for saying those types of things, and they're gonna shut up about it, right? So how that happens between here is like, not you're gonna go on a speaking tour and convince every conservative that like you should exist, but it's an overall cultural thing that happens through media, happens through some communications with others, but also solidarity and community as well. So you don't have to go through that alone.
Yeah, I think like progress is very non-linear. But also like I don't believe necessarily that like, it gets better or like the fucking arc of the universe bends toward justice. I don't really believe in any of that. Like I think, it's like an active maintaining of things going on, and it's like, yeah, you're going to fall
100%.
backwards, and it's like if you don't do something, you're just going to enter free fall and the elevator is going to go from floor 60 to floor -10 or something, like, and like that part is like, it's really difficult to deal with that, like on an individual and then also on a societal level. Cause it's like, I feel like in a lot of ways we're regressing significantly, especially with the pandemic and everything. Like people just like, they can't discuss certain topics. They refuse to like engage in certain kinds of conversations. And it's like you can use like allegories and analogies, like I like to use Israel Palestine as an analogy for a lot of things. Because to me, it's very clear, but like a lot of people, you don't know about it. And it's like, you don't know anything. You don't have any basis of knowledge, right? And everyone around you doesn't know anything either. So it's pretty easy to just go with, well, yeah, Israel has a right to defend itself. Like, even though they've never defended themselves, like, can you point to any time in history where they've defended themselves? Like, I would love to see it. But like, yeah, so you just have to keep punching the bag and hope, hope it works.
Yeah, struggle always continues. I'm not an arc bends towards justice thing, and especially over the past couple of weeks, it's been hard to be that kind of person.
Oh yeah.
Hey gang, we've been going a little over an hour. If anyone needs to bail, feel free. If you want to hang out, also feel free. Via my Discord. Yeah, you can. Somebody dropped a link in my Discord. There are 18 places between cities and states in the US that will pay you to move there. Usually
that's good from earlier.
That cost has to go to goes to like housing. And so they're looking for, laborers, workers, and they'll hook you up with some money to go toward housing. So anyway, there's a lot of places, Maryland, Nebraska, Michigan, Georgia, Maine, Alabama, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Illinois.
Wow, socialism's
Vermont,
really everywhere. Look at Joe Biden
Ohio.
giving away Chinese property and houses left and right. That's what's going on. Do you ever like this would be a fun bit? I'm just like not as comedically talented as someone like Michael Brooks to be able to like do the voices consistently, but like yeah, it's like all the things they say about Biden and all the things they said about Obama, like if he was, a communist and all those other different things. That's kind of where the Nation of Islam
Oh
Obama
yeah.
character came
Yeah.
from. Was just like,
Oh my
Yeah.
okay, well, what if he actually was like, what if he actually was like growing a
Yeah.
fro and greeting everyone with salam alaikum, like in the office, like, okay, let's just run that to the extreme. And I'm just picturing Joe Biden like, I can't do the voice, but just like, we're gonna use government money to build public transportation infrastructure, trains everywhere. Yeah, we're gonna have a big train station in Scranton. Gonna have high speed rail going everywhere.
dreamer.
It's gonna be great.
Amtrak,
when?
Amtrak.
Yeah,
Someone get Amtrak on the
Amtrak.
phone.
we're gonna be doing it by hiking prices on gas in red states 300%. It's gonna be great. I
Tax.
love it.
He's like, folks, we gotta tax billionaires. Folks, we gotta tax millionaires. It's never gonna happen, but that is the kind of
we-
thing that I mean.
We're gonna soak
but
Donald
you
Trump for every penny he has. Look, you know what? I'm
He
fair.
doesn't
I'll
have
take
any pennies, son. He doesn't even have nickels and dimes.
Listen, Jack, we're gonna
He's
line up
selling cards, NFTs.
America's 10 richest billionaires outside of an old brick wall and take care of them like Stalin would. I would love I would love if Dark Brandon was the
Matt.
actual Biden.
I know
Make
your
the
prescription of cable news is don't watch it, but
Yeah.
have you ever had more of like an emotionally satisfying moment where Chris Matthews was talking about Bernie Sanders rounding up rich people in Central Park?
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah,
And then
and
Holy
he was like,
crap.
"They're
later.
gonna come after me," and it was
What
like,
a
"Dude,
creep.
what are
I
you
know.
on, man?"
Whack jobs.
Never
mixing
forget
your-
when Chris Matthews was talking about Barack Obama and he said that Barack gave him a thrill up the leg.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, what the
What?
Pepperidge
Oh
Farm
my
I'm glad
remembers.
they were trying to bring him back. I don't think it worked out too well, but
I hope not.
here's a
I don't want my mom watching him.
I have a serious question. Why, like, Joe Biden stood with those union guys? It was like 15 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
He was on the picket line with them. Why aren't they leaning into that? Why aren't they calling him? They should have started calling him Union Joe that day, and they should
Who's
be
the
putting
they?
that in all the his people,
Right.
the
It's way better than
establishment
Bidenomics.
Democrats.
Oh, Biden.
All these, they should be, even if it's not
Yes.
true, even if it was a gimmick. Why aren't they? They don't use these things to their advantage in a way that makes total sense. If you're gonna bullshit the American people, do it in a way that helps you win,
Union
not in a way
Joe.
that this is because I've been asking people this a lot
Yeah.
lately. Do you think that a progressive candidate, or just for lack of a better term, progressive presidential candidate should be trying to win over Republicans or people who don't currently vote? And it seems to me they're
Don't.
just trying to win over the Republicans and not even the voters, but like the
Get out the
politicians.
vote. It's a big thing.
I will say, having seen the inner reaches of at least like the California Democratic Party, the entire thing is like a make work program for like the laziest, like greasiest, nerdy politicos like
geez.
in the country. Like it's
I don't think they
it's
even care if they win, right?
no, that's they don't care if they win. They care about their 6-figure salary as a consultant that they can then spin into something spoil system style if their people win, and then they can go outside and form fundraising groups on the outside if their people lose, and so weiter. It just like keeps going in a cycle. Like I think it's what you're seeing is it's an Occam's razor kind of thing, Matt. Like when people say like it feels like the Democrats want to lose, it's like, no, it's like a job where your end of year reviews like are completely irrelevant. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
And
they're
so,
just
like,
trying to
there's no-
maintain low intensity democracy. Two parties fundraising off each other. That's all it
I
is.
think
view
it's
them-
gonna
They're
collapse,
maintaining
personally.
that.
I
I
think
view
we're
them as a
headed for
bunch
a
of-
big boom.
Oh yeah, I view them as a bunch of like Jafars basically, and they know they won't get there. They're whispering in the ears of the politicians, and they know that the lifestyle they're going to lead, the compensation they're going to get, is going to be much slimmer if they don't please the people who fund the people that pay their paychecks. Hence, I do think Sandy's right. I think I think that whole system is in the process of collapsing, and we are here trying to build something new as the structure falls around us.
Let's just
Wild
hope we
times
can
to be
keep
in.
Yeah.
the environment
Hey.
from collapsing, which is
Yeah, that
happening
thing.
also. And
That little
Hey,
little
Dan.
issue.
Are electoral politics in the U.S. as we know it dead? I feel like voters in the U.S. are the same as a fisherman who's just walking up and down the shoreline collecting dead fish that have washed up on the beach and calling that
what an
fishing. I
analogy.
feel like that's what we're doing,
Yeah, we
right?
picked
Like
the
we're
worst.
we're
Matt Strackbein,
voting, but
you're the Werner Herzog of independent
Yes.
media. Like, that's just
but what are the results? What are we getting out of this? Are we
Americans
really
are
even
just
doing it?
picking up the detritus at the bottom of a
Yeah.
barge that has been floating at
It's-
sea, unmaintained for 20 years.
They're
Well, I
telling
It is
remember-
us
sickening in my
voting.
sphincter.
I remember in 2016 we were
comment.
promised like Trump winning, would teach the Democrats a lesson, and then we would get like super
what I
communist
mean.
420, and then we got Joe Biden.
Ugh.
And
Ooh,
like
but
we were
we also
supposed to be
got
able
the
to
squad.
push him
So
left or
painful.
whatever.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the
and, like-
squad
say
would have
that
happened
they say
independently.
that they say he's oh, he's so left.
maybe.
Ugh.
Hey, if every time somebody brings up the squad, I say what that taught us. Let's just focus on AOC. What that taught us was that you can have candidates elected with grassroots fundraising. You can do that.
Yeah.
And that is not the lesson that the masses took away from that campaign. They took away that you could be really popular on social media and be a politician.
Mm.
I mean,
That's
the only reason,
basically
like,
what.
But was she necessarily popular on social media before she
Yeah,
ran?
hell yeah.
America
okay.
No,
has
that's what I'm
fundraised
saying.
I-
Like
failed to
she
learn its
was.
lesson.
she taught
in
all the
case
other
of
Democrats
AOC.
how to
Alright.
use Twitter and stuff.
Oh,
no, like
okay. And I'm
so
from New York.
there's that, and there's also God, I was just thinking about it. The reason like AOC hasn't been totally tossed away in the Democratic Party is because very consistently with what we've just been saying, the money talks very much in the party. And part of Nancy Pelosi's grip on the party is that she's a big fundraiser. Part of Kevin McCarthy, even though he was like, ousted as speaker and like that whole like side, like hates him, he's like pulls money in for the party.
Mhm.
Marjorie Taylor Greene pulls money in for the party. And so these bombastic kind of figures like, AOC, she triggers a lot of attention. There's like sexism and racism and sexualization like drawn down to that for a lot of members of the squad as well. But that is kind of used to their advantage in the sense because they can say, look at all this negative attention I'm getting. That rallies people to like, fight back and go, you know what? Every time I see a Fox News article, I'm going to give you $5. I'm going to donate $10 to your campaign. That was Bernie's thing. Bernie would tout like, your average donation is such and such according to Open Secrets. My average donation is $27.
Yeah.
And I know people with
Oh.
27 like tattooed on their bodies because of that.
I
right?
was giving $27.
Yeah.
And you can
so,
see
like,
how effective it is when it comes to people being like, give me just 1 penny, because they're trying to drive their numbers down.
yeah.
Say their average,
Yeah, a lot of candidates were doing that for minutes. They could like, so
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg could seem like he had a grassroots campaign going on.
I remember
Oh.
that they would sell their T-shirts for like $1, like a month before like the 9,000 candidates drop out. They're trying to offload their merch, and it's like, give me $1 and you get a T-shirt. So
Yeah,
just throwing that
Well,
out
at
there.
least they
Free
weren't
T-shirt.
NFT cards or
There was
the newest
What
thing
a
for
failure quilt of
99.
all those shirts.
There was a recent town hall for Nikki Haley, and this little girl got up to ask a question. And she had a Nikki Haley campaign hat on, and she goes, "Oh, I like your hat." And the girl said, "Yeah, one of your people gave this to me for free." It's like a 9-year-old or something.
That was perfect,
classic.
right?
You will
It's like, I
always
wouldn't
get
be-
rocked by like a 10-year-old.
like
Yeah, free hat, lady. I don't
Yeah,
care what it says.
Like she probably like the kid probably doesn't even know like the person that they're talking to is the person on the hat, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
address your point and your question earlier, Matt, because I saw Infinite Content
Yeah,
send
what
in
do
a
you
super
think?
chat that said, I'm going to say this, that the Dems are about to have a serious black voter issue in 2024. I think
Scary.
that's a comment about exciting voters and enticing voters, and your question is about like electoral politics sort of dying to some extent, I think that there's still the negative partisanship effect that we saw with to some extent
True.
people voting for Biden over Trump, but definitely with people, honestly, the winning thing for Democrats right now is every Republican who says something crazy about abortion in power. It's not Joe Biden, it's not Kamala Harris who's exciting Democrats, it's
Oh, I love Kamala
Republicans
Harris.
and it's Republicans and Supreme Court justices. That's
Yeah.
also a cop in California too. That's also no.
Are
But
people talking about Project 2025 though, Dan? That's frightening.
it's frightening, but that's like again, we're in like wonky political people territory. I don't. A lot of people, like non-political people, are like, yeah, sure, I want to throw a wrench to the system, so let's vote for someone like Trump. And so when you say like, okay, you don't like people who don't have a strong sense or care about democracy, when you say, oh yeah, he's going to come in and fire all the bureaucrats, like people don't think of, oh, you hate the DMV now. Like,
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Wait till there's one
Perfect.
person that works there.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, so like
Exactly.
there's ways to message it, and it's definitely like a scary thing, and that's why like the harm mitigation aspect of electoral politics, like I think I don't hate people who make that point, but I also want to emphasize that local politics, like on the ground politics, I mean, we see it in like unions, but even like cities that may seem suburban or whatever, but they're able to put lefties or pro-labor people on city councils, and they're able to do stuff for people there. I mean, like,
Right.
that's important. I encourage people to care about that. I've always tried to learn more about like judges, because you can like vote for judges, but like there's never any information about them online. Like they're judges, so they're probably like leaning conservative anyways. But
You can just
those,
sit in the courtroom and listen to them.
You'll know.
yeah, with the time that we have, and not all of us like enjoy tort conferences like Sam Cedar. So I come from a family of lawyers, so I might actually be down for it, but still, like, but I think I do want to encourage people to, if they are, out of electoral politics, I think the trend is like people are not liking it on the national level and not seeing a point to it on like, everyone hates Congress, everyone hates the Senate. We all kind of feel like they don't do much. But please pay attention to your local elections. You can really make a difference there, partially because it's closer to you, and partially because, like, honestly, there's few people watching. Like, there's very few people watching. It's scary because you can get like absolute cranks in out of nowhere, but also you can be an absolute crank. Yeah, you can get exactly. You can get really great people.
You can't win here where I live as a Democrat. At least in
I
Congress
disagree.
or in a lot. Well, we've been trying.
You just
for
run
how
as a
many
Republican.
years? Yeah, exactly. That's what that's what I think a few of them have done here in this area. Mm-hmm.
If you can trick the Republicans into letting you run as a Republican, I cannot think of a better strategy. Not only you're draining Republican money to get lefty votes somewhere. That's the way to go, baby.
The reverse George Santos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, do you want to like drastically shift topics?
Totally.
As we like it's 20 till midnight.
Yeah, I'm probably
who here's
a
fan of Rocky Balboa?
Oh,
all right.
Oh man,
the Rocky movies. I know Andrea is a mega fan. Andrea and I are mega fans.
I watched every Rocky film on mushrooms, and it's a life-altering experience. Cried the whole time. When Mickey died, I lost it. I had to pause.
From the first frame.
I cry at the end of those movies. I don't know why. Have you heard of SlyStalloneShop.com?
No.
I found this today, and I was just like, I literally checked my bank account. Let me show you. I was like,
consumerism.
Consumerism.
Yeah, so they have they have merch. They have merch and replicas. This stuff is amazing. It's amazing.
The character was a poor guy.
Yeah.
Do you want to dress like a genuine 80s poor?
Now look at the action figures. Look.
Oh, look at that.
It comes with the side of beef that he used to train on. It comes with the beef. Okay.
I want
The
that
other thing
so
is-
bad.
That's $400.
I don't.
You can switch. You can switch the face, and there's 8 different hands. So you
Wait a
can give him
minute.
the
You're
bloody
kidding.
knuckles.
Scroll up. A tiny
So it's a
little bit.
punching bag
One line.
of meat that comes with the
Shipping.
action doll.
Yeah, because he trained in
Shipping.
that meat locker.
Yeah, right.
January
God.
2025.
That's not bad,
That's
honestly.
This
What?
stuff is
Shipping January
coveted.
2020.
Yeah,
year for
this
that?
is all
Oh my
pre-order,
God.
and there's not going to be that many of them.
I mean, they
that's
have
nothing.
to
I would hold
they have
out.
to figure out how many people want this, and then they have to,
Yeah,
either like Beyond Meat the bleeding like
eight
like
different fists. 8 different fists.
That reminds me of those Dragon Ball toys I had when I was a kid, where you can put on the Super Saiyan hair and then take it off.
Rad. That's cool.
Look at the
Oh,
like
God.
I want
Would you
this
wear that?
Rocky sweater.
No, the other one.
I'll show you.
That one.
I'll show you what I'd wear.
The
I'd wear that. Hell
the
yeah.
bowling shirt.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Cool, right? Look at that.
$60
Oh my
though, I mean.
god.
God
No
damn.
problem.
As a rule, I don't care for polos, but I like that logo.
Look, Andrea,
That's funny.
Yep. There you go. That's it. That's
the
one.
exact sweater. Look,
there's like
That's
an
the one.
Ed
Oh
Coke.
my God. This
There's
is
like an Ed
crazy.
Coke looking shirt, or like who's the Fail Son Coke brother? It was like a really gaudy looking like Hassan Piker ass shirt that's like a Rocky up there.
I know what
They're
you're talking about.
waiting
Yeah,
a
yeah.
year for this to drum up so much excitement
Look
that
at some of
everything will
these.
be sold out. Jeez.
look at some of this stuff. I mean, okay, so then where the replica stuff. So you can get like I mean, look how authentic. Look,
sorry, but
Oh, you
the
can get
robe.
the whole robe. That's not even
that is so funny.
$100
I
for
would
the
wear that
robe.
robe.
Like that, I'm considering.
my
I will wear the
God.
Italian
Yeah.
stallion. Fuck yeah! Oh,
You
the
can get an
communist
Ivan
one.
Drago jacket.
Ivan Drago. That's it. I'm buying it. I'm buying it.
Please tell me.
Sold out,
Please tell
motherfucker.
me
God damn
they've
it.
got the Apollo Creed Uncle Sam outfit. I will wear that unironically.
That commie one looks like literally just like leftist thriller.
And it's
Yes.
sold out, so you know it's the
Oh.
one that everyone wants.
Yeah, and
You're gonna
that
have to
one will
find
get
it on
killed
eBay.
these days.
And I will pay all
I
the
don't care
scalpers.
for the Soviets.
You're gonna have to find
I
it
have
on
genuine
eBay
beef
now.
with the Ruskies.
Oh.
I'm actually probably going to get that
Well,
Rocky
at that
One
note,
sweater.
it's
Oh.
I am
On that
probably
note.
going to be the first one to say goodnight.
Okay.
You have a
Oh,
good
they
night,
have
Sandy.
Cobra.
Yeah, Dan,
See
it
ya,
was such a
Sandy.
pleasure being
It was
with
so
you.
great to
Hanger
meet you.
merchandise?
Thank you.
Everybody in my chat can stay because the show stays up on the channel. So have fun. I'm bowing out because I was on another show earlier and
You're all
I'm
showed
tired.
out.
Yeah, I'm all showed out. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
See
and
You
ya,
I'll
have a
see you
good
next
one.
week.
Bye.
You're the best man.
Dan,
Bye,
you're a pleasure.
Sandy.
Appreciate you. Bye.
Is there a
Bye.
Bubkiss figure?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
Bubkiss?
Yeah, he
Fuck!
comes with this one. How cool, right? Look.
Oh,
I need Bubkiss.
this is
Kind of
it's
looks
got the
weird with all those
there.
hands next to him.
Yeah,
Like
right.
Bubkiss. No.
Look. He's because he
Nope.
was the numbers
was a
guy,
fucking
right? He was a
enforcer.
collector.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Anyway,
That was an
Okay. How cool,
underrated
right?
plot point. I
Yeah.
wish they explored that in
Their
I
prices
Rocky
know,
5
yeah.
more.
are all inverted. Like the stuff I would pay a lot for, they're charging nothing for, and the stuff that I would pay
Exactly.
$20 for, they're asking for a ton. But still, a cool shop, super cool.
Yeah.
Not all capitalism
is-
bad. I like this one.
This is gonna be like every
like
ad
this
on
one.
Instagram now for me. Watch after this.
Yes. Oh,
I mean,
you're right.
how cool, right? Like I just
I
think
also have an
being able
advertisement
to
I want to do at some point.
oh yeah, being able to change out the fist like 8 different
That is
times,
cool.
like that means like
that makes
an
me
adult.
want to do like a stop motion
Stop
cartoon.
motion. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Have 'em
but
going
like an
that, you
adult-
switch them out, and yeah.
Somebody's gonna be playing with that toy. Think about it.
I
Somebody's
will.
gonna spend
Me.
400
I will play
bucks
with
and
that
then go, who you talking to? And then they'll switch out.
Yeah,
the
me.
We're
fist
gonna
and go,
okay.
now
Okay.
you're gonna
Here's
get
what's
it.
gonna happen. We're all gonna get the toys, and then like whenever they come up, like 2 months from now, we're gonna do a play. We're gonna reenact
Oh.
Rocky everyone gets all the characters. You know, we do this, and then we can put them up to the sides of the screen so that they can fight each other. You know, like,
It's
because
only
this is
like
what I would
2,000
do as a
bucks.
kid. I would just bash my toys together. That's them fighting. You know,
We'll get
can't
Arby's to
wait to-
sponsor.
Yes,
We've got the meats.
the beef. Yes, I cannot wait to scream at Dan. You're gonna eat thunder and crack lightning. Like that's amazing. That sounds
We'll
like
all have
genuine
on
fun.
those communist jackets. That'll be awesome.
oh man, I need that
Uh,
one.
I'm going
Okay,
with the
yeah,
Apollo cream,
Andrea,
boyhood
what-
dream.
Walk us through what this is.
Okay,
I'm going to share your screenshot now. What are we looking at here?
so as we know, I am a Doom level design expert. In
And world
1996,
champion Doom player, right?
I
I
know what
am-
this
yes,
is.
that is correct. So
From the
Chex
cereal.
Quest is a 1996 game that was built on the Doom engine, and I am making the very first, at least to my understanding, Chex Quest Megawad. So it's having 40 levels of hot new Chex Quest action. And this episode is Chex Quest goes to the moon. We're on the moon.
Whoa!
How cool is that,
Whoa!
man? And so the
I'm so
feature
into this.
of these levels is that like you can't breathe on the surface. So like you have to like run around on the surface really quickly before you run out of health and go like to the buildings and get like the health packs and the radiation suits that protect you from the moon radiation.
Mm-mm.
And this just came out today. I just posted it and you should check it out.
Oh,
Chex Quest goes to
Uh,
the moon.
And
I love
now,
that so very much.
also,
Sick.
this leads
played that, by the way.
into Andrea and I are going to be, this is next Thursday, so a week from tomorrow, going to be at 10 a.m. playing Boomer Gamer, which is a new show where I'm going to play the last video game I played, which was Doom 2 from 1993. That's the last time I
Don't
played
tell
the game. I'm
anyone
gonna
where
play
you
it.
got it. I don't tell anyone where you got that from.
I'm gonna play it again, but with Andrea's Christmas wad.
Yes. So this
Doom
is
mod?
new levels, different gameplay mechanics very slightly. I made all the levels myself. I made some of the graphics, but most of them are reused from other sources. And the whole premise is that you kill thousands of Santa Clauses because fuck that guy.
I have been practicing on the original Doom, and I can assure everyone, if you like watching people who don't know what they're doing playing video games, you are going to love Boomer Gamer. So that's
I'm
next
very excited
Thursday.
for
That's
this.
going to be fun as hell. I
It is.
was sitting, I kind of got the hang of it, and then I was like,
I should also
I don't
say real
know."
quick, the WAD name is called A War on Christmas. So
Yes, A War on Christmas. That's right. But I don't know if I can truly say that I was getting the hang of it if a level took an hour and a half. Know what I mean? It's pretty
you're
bad.
getting the hang of it. You
I
know?
just miss
I would-
those. Like that was a golden age of gaming that I didn't really get to experience. I only got like,
Oh, tune in.
yeah. I'll have to check it
Dude,
out. But that's so good.
Well, Dan, if you want to play my games and have me co-commentate, that's free content for you. I got plenty of Doom wads that I've made. I've been making levels since I was like 6 or 7 years old, so I got plenty of them.
That's good to know.
I want to do the Chex Quest one so bad.
Well, then do it. It's
I
free.
loved that game.
Chex Quest is free. You can just download it online. You don't even need Doom.
Oh, that first of all, that's rad. Second of all, I tried to download A War on Christmas, and I fundamentally don't understand how these mods work. I assume you need the base game, like a
For
copy of-
Doom wads, yeah, you need to have Doom 2. You
I can
can
walk you through it.
you can send me a
There's ways to obtain it. Let's say.
yeah. There's
Yes.
you don't need to give Bethesda any money. Fuck them. But
Microsoft.
so it's
right?
literally you just get Doom 2 and you get a source port, which I can provide, which is free. And then my WAD is also free. So everything is free. Asterisk.
Okay.
Does-
It was
All right.
fun.
Yeah, love mods.
What's the name of the Doom engine? Or is it just like Doom engine?
Doom is the engine,
Oh.
also known as like IdTech 1, I think. Or is it
Hmm.
2? I think it's 1.
Because I'm trying to, because to me, the fun of Doom, the closest thing I got to experience was playing things using like source mods. Like there's Gary's mod where you could do things, and there's like the
Oh,
Half-Life
yeah.
games.
I've made a couple Half-Life levels, so I'm
Yeah,
familiar
it's
with
so fun.
Source.
I was just describing like Frank Ocean's probably going to drop an album before Team Fortress 3 comes out. Like it's
Oh yeah.
still fiending for it. No, so it's just I love this genre of games, like super customizable, and you can like make it your own.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Banner list, yeah.
I've been playing Doom my entire life. It's the first game I played, and I've been making levels since I had access to a computer. So this is one of my favorite things.
That's so cool.
Other than talking about politics, I enjoy making video game levels, Doom especially, because it's the easiest one. But I've made levels for like Half-Life. That's a little more annoying. I've dabbled in Quake 2. That's a little more annoying too. Like Doom is that sweet spot where it's like I can make an entire level in like 30, 40 minutes if I'm like really hopped up and I got a good idea going. Or with like Quake, it takes like 5 hours to make something playable. Like Doom is that perfect sweet spot where you can have like a good idea and implement it like relatively quickly.
Yeah,
I play City
I-
Skylines, but it's just city builder game.
I found it
That's
interesting
I have a friend
that
loves it.
I was struggling, and here I go. This is why I'm a boomer when it comes to this stuff. I would struggle at a level, and then I would die, and I would be much quicker at the parts I already knew about the level, and then I would die, and then be much quicker about the parts that and so then eventually I was like, oh, I can just cruise through this, and I was like, oh, that's speed running. Like when you've
Yeah.
beaten the game so many times, I was like, oh, okay. Duh.
Now
So,
you
'cause
understand
I guess
why I do this. It's very fun.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking like you were just really fast at it the first time, but I was like, no. It didn't register until stupid, right? I don't know, but it's
No,
gonna be
not at
fun.
all.
Oh, stupid. No, it's
It's
partially.
I was
Gaming
blood-
is a very welcoming.
I was bloodthirsty. I got to the point where I was like, I know there's the guy right there. It was crazy. I was being nuts. I was like, oh, I'm going back to my pistol real quick.
Oh my god.
And I think you have to be up close to him to kill him faster. Is that a thing? Because
Well,
I was
your
like running up to
aim-
people like
if you're far away, there's like a spread, like a horizontal,
yeah.
like there's
I was
slight
picturing it like
randomness
a
in
grid.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
one
fun.
of my favorite things to do in any video game is to stop role playing in my head because I'm too frustrated. So like if I get killed in New Vegas by something, reloading the save before and be like, I just for whatever reason was mining this entire hallway with explosives, and now look, there's an enemy, and then enjoy that. Save scumming, in other words, borderline cheating. Yeah, just cheating. I like cheating. It's fun.
I remember back in the day where you had to buy these books of passwords to not just get cheat codes, but also like to save your place
Go
in
through the
levels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Or you have to write them
Oh.
down. Like I would have to
Mhm.
they would show you in some games they would fuck with you. Like they'd flash that shit on screen for like 5 seconds and you got to memorize it and write it down real quick. Oh man, fuck that shit, man.
Have your brother taking the last half of the digits while you're furiously writing the
Yeah.
first?
I've done it all.
I just remember left, right, A B or whatever it was.
The
Yes.
Capcom code. Oh, Konami code,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, Dan, before we go, do you want to plug anything? But I know you got shows tomorrow, right? Or a show tomorrow?
I'm trying. I keep weighing whether or not I want to do PowerPort tomorrow. I usually do PowerPort on Thursdays. I've just been like getting body blowed by my day job. I'm like so exhausted. So I might take that time to rest. I kind of like take it easy with streaming around December and January every year anyway. So
Sure.
I'm usually there, but I might do it because I've talked myself into it. I might just stream City Skylines and casually talk about politics. It might be just one of those streams. But anyways, danfromtheinter.net are all of the links. You can find me at Dan from the Web on Twitch, Dan from the Internet on YouTube and most other places. Trying to wean myself off of Twitter. Thread sucks. Blue Sky sucks. We're out here. That's the internet. But yeah, check me out on there. I also do a show about music, Audio Face. We're doing the Audio Face Awards this year, so all the great music that came out this year, ranking it. All the greatest mugshots from musicians this year, we're ranking those too. It's fun for the whole family. It's one of my favorite things to do near the end of the year. So also check that out at youtube.com/audiofacepod. Like Radiohead, but Audio Face.
Great.
That's good.
Yeah.
Lovely, man.
What do you got,
I
Andrea?
will do.
Andrea, you got a video
Above
coming
it
out?
all, coming out on Friday. I recorded it today. I hate to tell everyone, but I'm gonna spend half the show talking about COVID again, because no one else does it. And I'm also talking about polling. Love polling. That's not to be confused with gathering data on elections.
But beating
is-
politicians with metal lengths of metal. Yeah.
Lengths.
I thought we were
and
still
widths.
talking about European geography.
Yeah.
That too.
That's
That's
it.
also, it's partially hydrogenated in that location. I have my second YouTube channel, which is my Doom speedrunning channel, and I've been playing a bunch of Christmas WODs on there. So check that out if you like that. Maybe you don't. And my handle on that is Doom Speedruns on YouTube. So I got that
And
one.
of course, everyone check out Environmental Coffee House. There's going to be
Yes.
Yeah.
plenty coming out of Sandy's channel. Jake, you got anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm I'm selling drugs down by at the corner of my neighborhood. So if you're in the
Still doing that,
the East
okay.
Dearborn area, you like some
Okay.
mostly pure cocaine.
That
Swing
sounds
on
legal.
by.
Mostly
Good.
pure.
The thing I like about Jake is that he honors returns. This is you can actually return the drugs if you don't like them to be satisfactory. So he stands by his product, and it's a type of integrity you just don't see on the streets.
And also, you get to
Incidentally, a
buy
lot of
the
baking powder.
returned, refurbished drugs.
At a
There's a whole
discount.
refurbishing network.
Refurbished.
And
Jake,
you know
it's like
what?
Rent-A-Center for crack.
No one makes them like your old pal Jack. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Well, when I'm selling them, I go by Full Daddy Diamond, and when I'm doing the other thing, it's Bad Daddy Sweet.
Bad Daddy Sweet. I have Francesca Fiorentini coming on Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be fun.
Nice.
I may have a guest on Wednesday. I may do a call-in show, but Jason Miles will be on Friday. Got another Friday episode coming up. We're going to talk about a
this
pamphlet
Friday?
that he just a week from Friday. I'm saying it now because I won't be on the rest of the week. A Teenage Anarchist is a piece that he just wrote and published in a pamphlet. So I want to talk to him about that. He did the rounds, but I'm coming in afterward to keep it alive. So anyway, I got a full week next week. I guess
I consider myself
there's a
to
lot
be a
going
teenage
on.
anarchist.
Yeah, you never really grow out of it. Or I guess that's where yuppies came from. So maybe you do grow out of it.
Yeah, it's
But
yuppie's a mindset. You
Jason-
can be anywhere.
They grow
Jason
out
talks
of it
about it
like
in a very good
fucking
way.
mold grows out.
You know how
of things that mold grows
that's what Jason Miles does is he talks about current issues through like pop culture. It's very cool how he makes connections. So anyway, I thought that fit my channel. But it's good hanging out with you all.
I got to return. I got it.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
it yet.
I know it's bail time.
I'm
Dan,
not going
thanks for
anywhere.
hanging out.
I'm staying
Thanks for
here.
letting me do this double, experience. I was gonna say JRE, but because that's why I call any long podcast. But no, it's always great to do stuff with you. Andrea, we should definitely do this more often. And Jake, fewer seats this time.
Oh, I get it.
It's
Fewer seats.
Then we're cool. Yeah,
I want
that's
more
all.
seeds. So just take all the seeds, give them to me. I'm gonna start a farm.
We're planting seeds. We're building farms. It's
That's the danger of the mystery bag. Even I don't know what's in it, but point taken.
Just kind of again, most I would be shot for giving that kind of feedback usually. So it's he's a pal. He's a pal.
Yeah.
For drugs.
He's a good
Okay.
guy.
Yeah.
Thank you all for having me on. I'm gonna head out.
All right.
Peace.
Have a great
See ya.
night.
Later.
He's a
Um,
good fella.
Should we look at that SlyStalloneShop.com again? It's like all I want to do. It's all I
leaves
want to
us-
do.
No, let's go. Let's go.
Uh,
Round 2. Free advertising.
I
for
mean,
our boy Rocky.
Dan is awesome though, right? What a great guy.
I adore that man.
This is a good
I
up.
like him so much.
Yeah, easily one of my favorite people. And I was serious about what I said. Like, usually people are popular for their content. And I think like he's popular for his content and for the amount of like literal pioneering he was a part of. But hey, we do
Yeah.
have a few we have 2 super chats and a super sticker. This is from 0PE.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, reminds me of when the Black Eyed Peas rapped in Simlish, The Sims.
Oh, The Sims. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
played a lot of The Sims when I was younger because I wanted to know how normal people lived. So I played The Sims. And I remember trying to figure out the language. And they do kind of have like a translatable kind of thing. That's fun. I didn't know about that song though. I got to look into that.
I really do want to listen to that now.
I wish we
As-
could
if
play
I
stuff
was a
like that
musician-
on here.
Oh,
We just got to set up like a alternative channel and then like, all right, guys, see you next time. Switch over there and get all the copyright strikes, you know?
yeah. I've
Then
genuinely
bail.
thought about doing that.
I have done
Or,
stuff
I mean,
like that before. so-
Twitch. Doesn't Twitch let you play music? Or, I don't know.
Sometimes it's they got a weird ass system too.
Keep the shenanigans away from the money, even if the money is just hypothetical.
Thank you for
Oh,
the
thank you
super
so much,
sticker.
Snixabia.
Snixabia.
Infinite content. Well, oh, can I read this one?
This is what Dan was reading earlier.
Oh, okay. Then I'm
go
going to
ahead.
say this: the Dems are about to have a serious black voter issue in 2024. From what I'm hearing, a lot of black people might sit at home in 2024. I didn't hear when he said that last part. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, Democrats are losing with so many demographics. Like fucking pretty much everyone that's not white is like, yeah, Democrat Party. You know, people that are like know anyone in Palestine are like, yeah, that's a big problem in Michigan. And yeah, it's just a huge
In
problem.
Dearborn
like-
specifically.
oh yeah. Yeah, Democrats are fucked. And I don't want that to be the case. I love the Democrats. I'm a Democrat super
Well,
fan.
I mean, they're bringing Hillary Clinton out, and she's already whining about people who shouldn't be pushing politicians to do what they want. It's like, Jesus, are you
I mean,
kidding
at this
me?
point, if you put me in a
Embarrassment.
primary and it's Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, I'll vote for Hillary. I'm just saying. I'm just at this point, fuck it. Throw a wrench into the system.
Ugh,
Oh God.
gosh.
But I
mean, on that
desperately
note,
want
there are
point.
candidates that could primary him, and they're not gonna. It's just
I do at some point want to have an in-depth discussion with you about my little pet theory about what's going to happen with the parties. I would love your guys' honest takes on it. Your honest critiques, frankly.
sure.
Because my suspicion
do
is
that
that
next
it's
time.
going to be interesting. Yeah, okay, cool.
There's a good one. I did see Dan at Cosmopolitics' birthday party. His ass was gyrating in front of the camera. Yeah, they live streamed her birthday party, and
That's
I was an hour away from that party, and I couldn't go.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Sorry to hear that.
My dog was. I had to carry her everywhere at the time. She was
How's she doing,
healing
though?
post
On
surgery.
account of the whole 3-leg thing.
Yeah, and had surgery on the front leg, but no, she's fine. 100%. Yeah,
I'm
that
really
was a
glad
while
to hear
ago.
that,
She
man.
bounced back. Yeah, thanks. She's doing great. Got 64 people watching.
Should I
Just saying.
show a little skin? I don't have.
No, dude.
Yeah, that's
basically
on
in-
Twitch. Have y'all heard about the Twitch fucking like porn update?
Yeah.
That. A little arm hair in there. I did not hear about that. But it's
Well,
the
I mean,
end of
I
the
don't
show.
mind going in, but like Twitch is basically a porn website, and a
Oh.
bunch of people are complaining that like there's porn all over the front page. So Twitch is like, we hear you, we see you, and we're gonna put it behind a filter. And now they're allowing even more porn behind a filter.
Good.
So if you want to go look at porn, go to twitch.television. Minimum age
You
to sign up
gang-
is 13, by the way. So it's a good website.
You know where you can find me
That's
after
a great hat.
Did they really do that, Andrea?
Oh no, I did not make any of that up. That's all correct. This is like coming out today. So this is breaking news.
I don't understand. Like,
Okay.
I don't
When I say
understand.
porn, I mean naked people, not necessarily masturbation or fucking,
Oh,
but
okay.
just like being
Okay,
naked.
I see.
I don't have any particular opinion other than confusion. I don't like once. I mean, you know, Pornhub exists. You know, YouPorn exists. That's the place you go
That's what I'm saying.
when you try to press. I mean, it's what do you do? Oh, you know what I like in this age of the internet? Soft core anything. What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't get it.
people
I don't get it.
don't have their priorities straight. Oh wow, some of these sale items look terrible. That looks like year one. I'm gonna make an account on here, just so you all know.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm
take
gonna
this
get that sweater.
very
I swear to
serious.
God,
I want it so bad.
that one is also good too. Holy shit,
I do not
that one's
want
cheaper
that
than
one,
the other one. Holy shit.
but I understand the appeal. But I would unironically wear the Rocky sweater. I would wear that with glee.
I would wear that, absolutely. I would buy 3 just
This
so I can
one.
have them all in rotation. That's the best one, yeah.
It's super cute.
With the black mock turtleneck.
Now, you'd have to imagine it with this pear-shaped physique under it, significantly less nice, but still.
That scene in the movie when Mickey goes to his apartment and he's like, "Look, kid, if you want, I'll train you." And he's left. He's down the stairs, and Rocky starts yelling at him.
Oh yeah.
Just like
Yeah, where was Mickey when Rocky didn't have the shot? Mickey was shitting on him, fucking giving his locker to that other guy. What happened to that other guy? He was never mentioned in the sequels. Spider Rico got a shout out in Rocky 6, not that other guy who stole a fucking locker. So Mickey, L for Mickey. That's the wrong way. L for Mickey. And then, and then they came around. So
Yeah, and he dies for the guy. His heart
he
is
was
so
gonna
broken.
die anyway. That guy was like 97 years old, man.
Yeah, and he was living like people of another era. In the actual actors, you see it. When Sylvester Stallone is the same age as Mickey was, he looks 30 years younger. It's insane.
So, do you recall? I think it's Puppet Master with Anthony Hopkins and Burgess Meredith. Do you recall that? There was a scene
No.
where Burgess Meredith. I need to go rewatch this. He's like testing him. He's like, you got a problem with he's a ventriloquist. He's like, you got a problem with the puppet. You got to stop using the puppet all the time or something like that, right? And he goes, here, I'll time you. Go a minute without doing it. And Anthony Hopkins, great actor, very young at the time, is just talking and doing the thing. And Burgess Meredith keeps going, that was 20 seconds. That was 30 seconds. He like can't do it, right? He
watch this.
can't not. Yeah. Oh, it's creepy as hell. It's a really good, like when Silence of the
I wanna
Lambs
see
came out,
that
I was like,
scene.
sure, that's the guy you want to play Hannibal Lecter because he was so good in that other movie. It's somebody, I got to look it up now and make sure that was it. I got to I know people in the chat are probably like, you idiot, that's not it.
You idiot.
My memory's so bad. Oh, yeah, it's called Magic. It was 1978. It's called Magic. Like if you just look at the movie poster for it, you'll be like, oh,
Show the movie poster.
very. Oh, can
Show
I?
it to us. I don't know. Can you?
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm getting blurry. Oh fuck. Oh. Jake, what did you put in this thing? Oh God.
Oh, who knows?
Oh
I
no,
just send
it's not
viruses to you guys at random.
no. I think it's I'm
Stop.
back.
Oh,
All right.
there you go.
Stay
How'd
calm.
you- right?
Stay calm.
Temporary hallucination.
Here we go. I can show you this now.
Ugh.
Abracadabra. I sit on his knee. Presto changeo. Now he is me. Hocus pocus. We take her to bed. Magic is fun. We're dead.
What happened to these kinds of movie posters? Like
Too
this is
wordy
the
though,
golden
right?
age of movie posters. You have half the screen, which is just some ugly ass color no one wants to look at, and then like one
Right.
still image that just kind of like you don't even really know what it means, and then like a really bad like advertising text that's like that doesn't even really tell you any information either. Like I don't know, 70s and 80s movie posters. There was something really good about them.
I like
Yeah.
the good ones. The I'm sorry, that one was. It makes me interested in the movie. I'll give it that. But as a work of art, I'm like, oh, everything Andrea said, I agree with, but I hate it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It elicits a strong emotional reaction. You know, you won't
Oh,
stop
no.
thinking about it until you see the movie and its closure.
Damn You're right.
Can I
Another
get that
good
sweater too?
sweater. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
holy
fair,
Anthony
fair
Hopkins
isle.
Apple
looking.
iPhone 15 Pro, 128 gigabytes, sponsored. So shout outs to Apple.
Yes, that is a good sweater.
Cool though, huh? Yeah, those are called Fair Isle sweaters.
Fair Isle, noted. I also, apropos of nothing, adore the one from Starsky and Hutch. Hutch's sweater.
Oh yeah, with the
You can
belt.
see Owen Wilson rocking it. Yes.
Yeah.
I want another one. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a creepy movie, but Burgess Meredith, he's one of the great actors. I saw the GI Joe animated feature length animation film.
Hmm.
It's not a film, feature length cartoon. And
Oh, well, that's
Burgess
feeling
Meredith
different.
is the voice of the bad guy. And I was
Really?
like, wow, like I did not pick up on that as a kid. And I was watching it like last year. And I was shocked that he had range.
I
I
mean,
mean, he was a penguin
truly.
in the Batman, right?
Was he
He was
really?
Mickey. Oh yeah, yeah. He was amazing.
The
They used a
animated
lot of
series.
famous people. No, the '60s Batman live action with Adam West.
I want to see that again.
Oh yeah, I have all
I
those
saw- I
on
saw-
DVD too.
Saw you disappear there. First of all, let me just tell you, not first of all, I enjoy that hoodie. It looks, it's stylish and it also
This one?
looks very soft. Yes.
I have like 3 shirts in my rotation because I stopped leaving the house. So I just do laundry every 3
move.
days. And this is like one of the 3 pieces of clothing I wear. I think I wear this almost every time we're doing this show because it's just the rotation every Wednesday. I got the same thing.
They have
Fair
some
enough.
cool Rocky hoodies with the statue pose.
Oh,
on the
hell yeah.
hoodies.
Hell yeah. Send me that link, by the way. I definitely need that link.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll put it in the old private chat right now.
All right. Well, I'll also send you guys out your Christmas Coke and I don't have
Preach.
more joke there. I'm gonna split. Did we read all the super chats?
Yeah.
We read all your super chats.
Oh, then I am going
Hey,
to save that link.
Well,
What's gonna
but next time we should talk about that restaurant. Did you hear that Jeff Bezos said he wanted to put a restaurant on the moon?
I'd
Did you
go
hear
to the
about
moon.
this?
I'd
Yeah,
go to the moon
everyone's
to
saying-
eat Jeff Bezos.
Well, everyone's saying like it'll have good food, just no atmosphere.
I hate you.
Speaking of the moon, you can download Chex Quest Goes to the Moon today or tomorrow or anytime in the future.
I love it. I'm so glad you made that, Andrea. I'm genuinely thrilled, and I will figure out how to make these things happen installing wise.
Just
Believe it
send
or
me a
not,
message. I'll walk you through it. I walked letter
I
hack through it. So
I have I have installed a mod or two in my time. I think I can figure it out. I just need to sit down and actually put the work in.
by the way, I am currently buying the sweater right now.
Oh, I love it.
I told you before we went on. I said I have something you're going to be very excited about. I knew it.
And I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't believe you.
Wait a minute.
It's a high bar, and you hit the bar, and it's not like limbo where you're supposed to get under the bar. It's like the one where you jump over the bar, like the sport.
It's a
That's the one.
standard, but I
can't believe I forgot
Oh.
this. Guys, do you want to see my impression of Anderson Cooper 5 minutes before the show?
yeah.
Yes.
So as soon as I said Rocky Balboa, I was looking at you, and I was like, "Aha!"
And it worked. I got the sweater in my
Yeah.
cart. I'm gonna go look at what else they got over here. Let's see here.
Do you know you could communicate between billboards? It's called sign language. Just use the billboards to communicate.
Yeah, I guess you could.
That's a literal. I guess all puns are kind of literal, huh? Emerald View says, "Oof."
I love oof.
Oof. That's a good one. The
I'm
dad
just looking at
jokes
this
never
Rocky store
stop.
right now.
Yeah, we should do like I mean we basically did Home Shopping Network for SlyStallone.com. Like, get this great Fair Isle sweater. He wore it in the movie.
The fact that they're selling this fedora for $150, which is like double the sweater, you can get 2 sweaters. But like, I'm still tempted to add it to my cart. Like, that's how sincere.
What about the action figure?
Oh
I
man,
mean, that was very. I've seen some high-end action
$400 though.
figures. Yeah, and like you'll totally forget you ordered it, and it'll just show up in 2025, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm sitting here complaining about Trump being president again, and now
And we
this
got
shows up,
Bubkus
and
the
I don't
dog.
care." I mean, come on. But the different fist, that is, there's some grown up is going to shell out $400 or $500 and then play with it and be like changing the fist. And the one had 2 different heads, so that you can have a angry fighting face and then a at rest face.
Yeah.
But that means some grown up is going to play with the toys.
Yes, me. I am. You're describing future versions of me. I will get 3 different toys, and then it'll be like a quantum multiverse, Rocky versus Rocky. And then Rocky is going to be the referee. You following this? This is going to be my stop motion film.
Yeah. Remember when Rocky was in the pet store and he told that dad joke about turtles getting shell shock? And then he's like, "Hey, did you hear me? It's a shell shock." He like keeps trying to like. She's like, "Huh? What? Yeah."
The
That's
way
so
that
good.
Rocky
The
is like
dialogue
such
is
a
so good.
fucking idiot in the first and second movie is great. Like,
Yeah.
like in Rocky 2, when he's like dressed up as the caveman doing that commercial, and he can't read the cue cards. Oh,
And the guy comes up to him, his old gangster buddy comes up to him at the wedding, and he's like, "Yo, Rock, you should probably think about investing in condominiums." He goes, "Yeah, but I don't use them." Like, dude, he's when he gets It's the best. You don't remember that? It's the best.
No, I remember that.
It's
No,
the
it's good.
best. He
I got
he
every
gets
like fucking frame of that movie burned into my brain.
he gets really upset when it's so typical, but the closer he gets to his emotions that he doesn't want to get into contact with or connect with things that are deep in him, he lashes out. But he's a very sincere guy. Like the whole time he's talking to people, he talks in a way that he wants people to know where he's coming from. And he's always explaining, he's like, yeah, that's why he's always explaining what he's saying. And he goes up to that priest and he goes, I was wondering if you could give me a blessing. It's like, yeah, I know why you're here. Right? Like you do this all the time. And so I
You
just
do
love
this
that.
all the time.
I just love that about the character because it was written by Sylvester Stallone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I need the movie about Stallone. They haven't done this, have they? I need a movie about Stallone creating Rocky, writing it, and
I saw that there's like a Stallone documentary or something that someone's working on. I read about this. I don't know if it goes into Rocky or not, but
yeah, I saw he was re-editing Rocky 4 parts of it. Or maybe
yeah, it's
remastering it.
I haven't seen that cut yet, but from what I've read, it's like the same length, but like they just switched a lot of the scenes and like there's like a lot of it's new material, right? But it's like they just replaced certain scenes with different ones that were cut from the original. So it's like the same story, but like a different rendition. I'm down to watch it at some point, but the original is
Yeah, I
also
would love
really
to
good.
watch that. Yeah, I mean, my older brother and I watched Rocky 1 and 2 over and over and over. I saw Rocky 3 and 4 in the theater. I saw all the Rockies from 3 on in the theater.
That's
Not the
crazy.
newest ones, but yeah. I mean, can you imagine seeing Rocky 3 in the movie theater?
I
It
can't.
was so packed.
I
It was packed. I mean, Mr.
like when the
T,
fight's going on, like, like that
oh,
energy.
it was so amazing being a
And when
kid
Rocky
in the
loses
theater.
in the middle, like, oh man.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. It's brilliant. Anyway, what do you think? It's
What?
it's Thursday on the East Coast, 12:23 a.m.
It's
We've been
1
on the
hour
air
and 18
for
minutes past the hour.
we've been on the air for 2 hours and 18 minutes and 16 seconds.
Actually, we've been on the air for 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 22 seconds.
I had a premiere video earlier, but I was in the chat. So I feel like I've been on air all night. Although probably not. I was in the chat. I had stuff to do. Are you excited to watch my interview with Francesca Fiorentini on Monday?
I will check it out. Am I excited? I'll watch it. Am I excited for it? I can wait until Monday, It's not like I have to watch it now. I could definitely wait until Monday. I don't find it difficult.
Do you realize that I draw a picture of them?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So now you're excited. No.
I could probably do with watching it on Sunday if you want to send me an advance copy.
It's
watch
going to
it
be
on Sunday.
live. It's going to be live. You
Yeah,
can only watch it
you
on
do a
Monday.
live show like for me. I get to watch it. You practice all the lines.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you do the
No,
real
I'll get
show.
her to come on Sunday for a dress rehearsal for an audience of one.
That's right. That's right.
You're like a studio executive. And then I have a guest. I scheduled a guest that I'm really excited about. I told my members today. I'm really excited about it. Guess. See if you can guess.
Well, they use its pronouns apparently. So that really narrows it down.
Now, I already told you. I told you before we went live.
I got short-term memory loss.
They used to
Oh!
write. Yeah.
Yep.
I was getting cool, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Now people watching this are gonna be like, look at these fucking idiots. They're not telling us anything. Oh, look at this. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're live. I'll say he used to write jokes for comic the insult. What's his name? The insult comic dog, Triumph. This person used to write jokes for Triumph, the insult comic dog.
That's before my time.
Yeah.
You think we could
But-
get Bernie Sanders on the show? That's what the chat wants.
I'll tell you this. I have been notified that my interview with a presidential candidate has been moved into the column of to be scheduled.
That's what happened to me. I was in an email conference with fucking Cornel West's campaign, and it was like, oh yeah,
Not
we'd
him.
love to do that. I've tried to talk to Marianne. Oh yeah, that'd be, and then and then they never actually set a date. Come on, man. I'm about to get RFK just to say I got somebody, Like I bet RFK would come on the show.
Yeah, you got to have an in. 0 PE. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. You got to have an in. You got to have somebody on the inside.
And that's going to be you very soon here.
Nadia Yvette Chambers, $5. Thank you. Dems are clearly throwing 2024 as theocratic fascism doesn't hurt stocks. They're insider trading. Best I not let them take me alive and flee the country. I had a
Honestly,
call-in
I
show.
agree partially. Like, I definitely have like a plan B thing in my head of like, how the fuck am I getting out of here? And I've done most of the work already. So just about pressing the button.
Oh, really? You've done most of the work?
Can't give any more details on stream, otherwise they can track me down.
So I did a call-in show, and I said, everyone always says if so-and-so gets elected, I'm leaving the country. Well, where would you go? And no one really had.
Canada
really
is the
thought about it.
easiest, but not the ideal. I would go
I think
to
we got
the
a lot
Netherlands,
of fighters in our audience.
Greenland.
Yeah, that's where.
New Zealand. I would go to Argentina, Brazil. These are all very viable options, but Canada's the easiest. So I'd probably go to Canada
the idea.
first.
I like being mobile in the U.S.
Just
Like,
off the
where's he?
grid, like a
Can't find him.
insurgency. You're just going through the trees, That's not bad.
Now I'm over here. Now I'm over here.
Yeah, you can go full
Changes
DB
with the
Cooper on these
seasons.
bitches.
Yeah. Here, look at this. I gotta read the super chats.
I
Thanks for the $2.
would love to get David Feldman on the show. So
this was our show. Left Past 10 was originally we were joking around that it was going to be the David Feldman pre-show because he would be on right now, but he switched it up.
fuck.
Yeah.
Now we
comes out
gotta
like-
switch our show. Our whole thing got fucked.
So now he comes on like 10:30 in the morning. Like he'll come on at any time. It's real random, but he always has like consistent 3,000 to 5,000 viewers.
It's crazy.
Yeah, good for him. It's awesome. I was on his show. Weren't you on his show?
I think I was on a show twice.
He mentioned you when I was on there.
Was it good?
He said, how did he put it? I think he called you a troublemaker.
That's true. I was on a show when I was like dealing with the court stuff.
No, it was Burgess or something.
Oh, I've made a lot of trouble with Burgess too.
I think that was it. I think that's what he was
Well, because
talking about.
there was this time where David Feldman like inquired Ben Burgess's very fascinating January 6th takes. And like David Feldman basically just destroyed Ben Burgess, and like Ben Burgess turned into like a small little shriveled up prune and then just popped out of existence, you know? And I did a video reviewing that debate because that was when I was peak anti Burgess. I was just going after him because that was pretty fun at the time. And I reviewed that debate. So maybe that's what he's referring to, because I was watching that and I was talking about how funny it was that David Feldman
I
would
think
just
so.
ask like very simple questions, and Burgess. I remember at one point like Ben Burgess was talking about how like Black Lives Matter protesters were using like ballistics against like fucking like, or some like really like weird military language that he was using. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what that guy's on. Good trouble. Sometimes. That's only the trouble I share publicly is the good ones.
I was waiting till we got down to 50 viewers, but now we have even more. Went back up over 60.
I thought Dan from
saw-
the internet was on this show. What the hell? There's a letter hack and some dumb bitch. What kind of show is this?
It's a long show.
Yeah, could be longer. I just got this
gotta-
Rocky shop on my other monitor, so like just the whole last 30 minutes, Rocky's been staring at me.
I got a snow globe for Christmas already.
Oh, no?
Early Christmas gift. Yeah.
Oh, I
There's
thought
like a
this was
little-
a setup for a joke. Okay.
There's a little scene of like a town in the globe, and I did like the snowstorm thing. I heard everyone felt a little shaken up after that. In the town, in the snow globers, snow globanites, they were all feeling a little shook up after the big storm.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This is my favorite part of the show, when it's like, who the hell is still watching this? This is like two people just like, this would be like a regular call that you and I would have.
When I used to do like when I was like 20, 21, I would do really long video game streams. Like I would stream for like 16 hours a day, like multiple days in a row. And often like the 3 to 4 a.m. block, you know, and like there's like 5 people watching. And I'm, you know, I have to finish the thing I started 5 hours ago, you know, so I'm just still doing it. That's always the most fun because no one's there and you're just having fun by yourself. And that is not related to this because now a bunch of people are watching me, and I don't like being viewed. What is
see my
LP10?
Left past 10. Come on.
Oh,
Did you
I
get the
thought that was
marketing
LPT.
memos? You
I
didn't
thought
get
it
the
was
marketing
LPT.
memos? Either.
Oh,
It's our branding should always have an exclamation point at the end, though.
I think I've been putting some in. I've been. I don't know if you noticed, but I changed the way I write the titles each week.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, try to put a little creativity in there wherever I can.
See my new book?
Which 4 freedoms?
The Fight for the Four Freedoms by Professor Harvey J.K.
Ah, I can't. I see the 4 freedoms.
Something interesting in this. on January 6, 1941, the greatest generation gave voice to its founding principles, the four freedoms. Now, do you think they did that January 6th insurrection because of that? Why that date? It's because there was a vote in Congress on that date
Yeah.
to certify the election.
Yeah.
That's just a coincidence that it was, I don't know. That really stood out to me. It's right on the inside cover.
I'd have to read the book. I don't know about that little bit of history.
The four freedoms?
I'm not up to date. I only know 3 of them.
Hmm.
No one. I skipped class on the 4th.
Which 3 do you remember?
You know.
Freedom from dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Freedom from
that
jerks.
was one of them. Yep. Don't, you don't want to have jerks.
Freedom from people trying to tell me what to do all the time.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe the language is a little different. It was 1940. They spoke differently, so maybe they use different words. I'm gonna sneeze very soon, so just brace for impact.
They spoke better, I think. Oh, Mila's in the chat. What's up, Mila?
I gave you warning, so if anyone's offended, it's your fault.
You know what I think of every time I see Mila? Every time. Those are good times.
I
Every
will do a
day.
daily show again at some point next year. So
Every friggin' day. Remember that time Mila called in and you were on the show and I put up your background? It was just the two of you.
Oh,
And suddenly it was the above it all. See, I could do that anytime, just so everyone knows.
can you see me through this? Because I can see the screen because the cloth is very thin.
Yeah. Can you can see the screen?
Yep. Oh no. This is what I do after midnight. This is how I entertain myself.
Yeah, you just act like you're doing an episode by yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure if this just turned into an episode of Above It All, everyone would just stay. You'd probably increase viewership.
Maybe.
More
One of these
people would
days
they'd be
we'll
like,
do
"Oh my
that.
god, Above It All is on. Tune in."
Yeah, the fucking 3:15 a.m. version.
Yeah, it's getting late here. I gotta get up early.
Oh, you got to get up early. Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, it was Mila. She's saying in the chat, it was Mila who first suggested I be a guest on your show. And then she probably got both of us on Feldman's show, right?
Oh yeah, she was the mastermind, if you will.
She was in. Anyway, yeah, I do have to. I'm all out of content for the night. Big Wednesday
wake up.
is totally deflated.
Gotta go to the fucking post office in the morning.
I do have to do.
Yeah,
I do have to do that. Did I tell you I had to do that? Are you saying
No, you
have
didn't.
to do that?
No, I'm making fun of you. I'm doing an impression of you.
I have
Thank
to go
you,
to the post
K-Cat.
office.
I just assumed like that's that's just, to me, that's like a comedic excuse to go to bed early. I gotta mow the lawn, gotta feed the dog in the morning. Gotta gotta, How funny
I've
was
been
it when
playing.
I asked Dan to show the microphone? I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we all knew
Like,
where
he
you were
didn't know
coming
why it
from, and
was
he was
funny.
like, "Yeah,
Yeah, he had no idea why it was funny. So I just thought that was pretty good. That was my favorite part of the show.
favorite."
Yep. Well, besides the Rocky stuff, I mean, obviously, that's
Thank you.
that's a different
Okay, I was.
category. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Daymaker is what you call that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so obvious that it doesn't even need a mention.
Daymaker. Well,
Gotta buy some stamps. I'm running out of stamps. Got the forever stamps. I got them 20 years ago. They haven't expired yet. They're for
what is
forever.
always in the corner but travels everywhere? A stamp.
You know, one time I used to do an eBay business and I used to experiment with putting stamps on random parts of envelopes
Mm,
because I would sell trading cards and you can just put those in envelopes.
that's a
And I
no-no.
used to put I got away with it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
They
I
probably
only did it
took
like 5
pity.
or 6
They were like,
times.
"Oh, they don't know what they're doing."
Yeah,
Where'd you
I
put
put it
them?
on
Like,
the
on the
middle.
back and stuff?
Well, no, I would just on the front, but just like randomly, like to the left, like it's 2 whatever, and then I'd put it like to the left of that, like underneath, like in between the text boxes, where I would print out just to see what would happen. And nothing happened.
Alright,
Nothing
well,
went-
this guy's gonna play tennis in the morning and go to the post office.
Hey, I
gotta
would, but if Letterhack
what?
goes, they're the host of the stream, so I would stay for hours doing the show, but I can't.
And just like
Can't
this.
do it. Can't.
And I'm pre-recording a lot of interviews, so makes
Tomorrow?
scheduling much easier. Friday, so I have to write it or polish it up. But yeah. That's a good guest coming up. You know, Brittany Page?
No.
Brittany Page coming up. Francesca Fiorentini. That's Monday. So I'm not
Pretty
sweating
good.
it.
Yeah. I don't know how to sweat. I stopped sweating many years ago, and I forgot how.
Scheduling the guests has become 50% of the job. That's not. I need it. I need more. I need a higher percentage of effort to be on air, right?
When I would schedule guests, it would be like 90% is like worrying about it. Like I would be like, if I had a guest coming up like next week, I'd be like, oh my fucking God. Oh, what if they don't show up? I remember I would
Right.
have I did Zoom before and I didn't know how to do Zoom. And like the Zoom like shut itself off in the middle of it. Oh man, it's the worst. And then I was like, then I'm
Yeah.
permanently traumatized. Like, what if it happens again? Oh,
That's why. So now I'm like, hey, you can come on these dates or we can pre-record. Right. And so pre-recording, it's like if somebody cancels, boom, play a pre-recorded one, right? Or have a week off because I'm going to do some pre-recorded interviews. So I got Luke Beasley coming up. I'm going to play that one on Christmas night. You know, Luke Beasley.
I've heard of them. I can't say I'm very familiar.
Luke goes to all the Trump rallies and events.
Right. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, I probably talked about it last time. That's
Yeah.
been, in the queue. I almost aired that one tonight, but
Yeah.
I did my Conan Neutron interview tonight. He's a great guy. That was a great interview.
Yeah, he's the movie night.
Yeah, did you know he's had his own podcast called Protonic Reversal for like almost 10 years?
I think I remember seeing that before. Yeah.
He interviews musicians on there.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, because he's got the music shit. Like I remember when I was on the movie night show, he has got like that background where he's got all the fucking. It's like your background, but instead of stupid
Wait,
drawings, it's like a musician.
you were on, I'm just going to let that go. But you were on movie night?
I think like 3 times. They haven't invited me on in a while. So what the
What
fuck's going
movies?
on?
Which movies? I've been on twice. Which movies did you?
I think it was Muppet movies. Like I think it was Muppet movie, Dark
Didn't
Crystal.
know.
I think we did another Muppet movie. I don't know.
Well, oh, look at this. Maybe we just keep hanging out here.
Oh shit. Should have done this on your channel. Thanks for being you. You have no idea how much I appreciate you being relatable.
So that was definitely to me.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not relatable. I don't have any relatives. I've never had a relative. All my relatives are dead.
I think that was to you. I don't think that was to me. It wasn't. It wasn't to
might have
me.
been me.
So it must have been to you. But saying I should have, let's see this again. I should have done this on your channel. Thanks for being you. I think meaning they're talking to me through your channel, right? Yeah, it's for me. You can add the money, but that was a comment to me.
I don't need the money. All I need is a Rocky Balboa replica sweater. I don't need money.
I had
I take my payment in those sweaters. So for this show, I will take 3 sweaters. Thank you.
I had it was Dan from the internet said the nicest thing about me on my birthday. I was so I had the chance to
What'd he
thank him
say?
for it and I didn't. I'll read it to you. He tweeted, "The letter hack is one of the few consistently good things about the online left. Join me in wishing him a happy birthday."
Well, I got
You would think I
got
paid
one for
him
you.
to say that. Okay.
I got one for you. Imagine having the same birthday as Doom. I'm jealous.
Yeah. Wow.
And you're just now playing it?
Wait, what do you mean same birthday?
Same birthday.
December 10th?
1993.
I wasn't born in 1993.
But it's the same day. It's the year doesn't matter.
Oh. I was born in do you know?
36.
Close.
You're a time traveler.
74. You were close.
Yikes. Yikes.
It means I'm going to be 50 a year from now. Say, I look good AF for 49.
No
See how
comment. I'm gonna
youthful
say
that
no.
sounded? Didn't that sound very young
Yeah.
and youthful?
You
I said AF.
what are the fire? Yeah.
As I thought it was as frig. I had another good one from Noiki Kunst today. She was on a show doing punditry with Glenn Greenwald. I think they were on the
I
same
saw
show.
that.
Yeah, they were. And she referred to him as a puppet. Fascist puppet, I think. A puppet for fascism. And then I retweeted my cartoon of Sam Cedar playing with the who's the one guy? Oh God, I'm so tired. It's Glenn Greenwald and
Ruben?
Dave Rubin as puppets. Yeah. And she said, there's a letter hack for everything. And I like that people refer to the art as a letter hack. You know what I mean?
That's it's the transcendence.
Somebody said that one time years ago, and I was so floored by that. They were like, this is one of the best letter hacks you'll see, or like you've been letter hacked. And I just think that's like, you don't set out for that to happen. You know what I mean?
It just happens.
And
It just happens.
I don't even wish for it to happen. Has anyone ever said that is a good Rovenski?
I'm sure people have said it. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's been
Like,
said.
like you see somebody with a pen in their hair, and you're like, nice Rovenski.
Is that what I'm going to be known for? Like 300 years from now, the only surviving record is like,
Or somebody's wearing like 3 pairs of sunglasses. Oh, classic Rovenski.
I got to do that again. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I did draw a whole bunch of people as puppets, and that was accurate. I didn't predict anything. I was just explaining it through art. They're puppets.
Christmas pins. Eh? Anybody?
Yeah. That's good. Oh, because it's green and red. I see. Do you know how many times as a colorist in my life, my career, dealing with color, do you know how many times somebody said, oh, green and red, Christmas, we can't do it? I know green and red makes your dumbass think of Christmas, but not you. I'm time traveling to the people who criticize me.
I
It's
knew it.
like,
You are a time traveler. I told everybody.
it's like you're gonna sit here and tell me that I can't use the colors black and orange in combination because it reminds you of Halloween. You're a little kid. You're just a child. It's time to grow up. We don't work at Hallmark.
That's really funny, actually.
It used to make me so mad. I would get so mad. I would get so upset. I'd be like, you people are so small-minded.
You motherfucking bitches. That's what I would have said.
Well, nobody ever said that blue and white couldn't be done because it reminded them of Hanukkah, did they? No.
Actually, I said that. I'll admit to it. I have said that.
That's
I've
yeah,
never said
okay.
that, actually.
Domenico is pointing out that I'm not a boomer, that I'm Generation X. And that's true, but because the cutoff for Gen X was 82. But boomer gamer it's tongue in cheek. Like I'm playing it as if a boomer were doing something. Like when boomers
It's really
handle
like the boomers are all
technology that
fucking dying off. So like once they're all dead, you're going to be the new boomer. You know what I mean?
boomer 2.0.
1.5. Oh,
Why am I even here? It's the middle of the night, almost. I'm being insulted.
I
There's
apologize.
57 people watching. I keep waiting for that to go down, and it won't. But
You just got to cut the cord. Pull the plug.
yeah, this was fun though.
It's all right.
But You know what they say? The good times are killing me. No, it doesn't start now. It ends now.